Hello, and welcome to the circus. All the clowns, all you clowns. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Are we live on the YouTube?
Oh, yeah, we are. And
Live on the
yay!
Rumbles. Hello, Kilroy. Flowers to Fabulous. Yes. All right, I'll give it 5 minutes and then I'll show what that actually meant, unless anybody saw the preview placeholder video on Rumble, in which case you may have already gotten a sneak peek of this giant project that, honestly, some of the pieces I think I made when I was in school. More than I've been out of school for a hot minute now. And
I know exactly how long you've been out of school.
right? Yeah. I've been a professional for 12 years now, so yeah. But let's see here. So hopefully everybody's hydrated, having a good Sunday. And hello, Alibaba.
Yay! Hi,
Where's
Kilroy.
my words?
Oh,
go ahead.
now that everybody's here,
We've got reached quorum.
I'm going to be testing out this microphone later, too, because I am loud naturally. And, can you hear me back here?
Yeah.
I'm so loud. I don't even, because I'm all up on my microphone. So I will be, hey, Butterfly, how's it going?
Welcome. Okay, we've got a couple people here. The cats aren't here yet. So let me see if I can, let me just make myself gigantic for a minute. We have this craziness. Ooh. And I have an entire box of more flowers to add on to this. I am not going to say what it is yet because I want it to be a surprise. I know what I'm making, but
yeah. I made spans. I have so much stuff that I've made. I actually have been sewing my face off because it was raining a week ago and I was trapped in the house.
Yeah.
But I made these. These have got some attention lately. So originally I was going to make board shorts, but I ended up making spans. And I forgot how much I like long pants.
Yeah.
They're they're not near capris, but I love that look. I forgot how much I love that look because I get stuck in certain styles.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to make a wider leg short where it's a pair of board shorts,
Right. Oh, that is a good guess. Dangly crazy quilt. Awesome. Not correct, but we can keep soliciting wrong guesses.
I think you're making a ghillie suit for a Muppet.
Also, good wrong guess.
I think that's one thing I haven't made. I'm gonna make a ghillie suit.
That would be fun. One of my friends on Instagram guessed that I was making curtains. That is also not correct.
Pre-COVID, I went crazy making curtains.
And I did splurge. I know I'm not supposed to be buying anything, but I went to the Goodwill yesterday and got this twin sheet for $4.30 because I needed for the skirt of my quilted house coat. I didn't have a piece of material big enough, so I was like, well, let's just do it. Fess up, you're making Mormon magic underwear.
Everyone's guessing. Everyone.
This is good. Keep up the good guesses. Is it you're going to be a cat toy? Yes, Freya Fruffers does consider that to be a cat toy thing. Oh my god, she had so much fun. The clips on. Oh, did I post it to Instagram? It's over on the Rumbles on my preview. And I scored this awesome ruler with holes in it. So the next time I make a corset, I'm like, oh, who needs to measure when I could just count the holes for my eyelet spacing? So I am super stoked about that. Wow.
You know, like a week ago, I said, you always have to trust the math. Sometimes you have to trust the math. I get cocky because I make so much. I'm like, oh, I know my measurements. I know this. And sometimes I don't do the math and I'm off.
Right. Or sometimes I forget that the scale weight has changed and that means my inches have changed. So I'm like, okay, we gotta get back into cutting season a little bit so that some of the things I made last year. Keep your kitty busy blanket. Oh, these are such great guesses. Oh, keep it up.
I'm so curious. So it's not a ghillie suit. You're not invading Muppet Land or
No.
I feel like I live in the land of Muppets.
I'm short enough. I might as well just be a Muppet. I mean,
Speaking of feeling short, I'm literally giving away my video that I'm about to release after this, but literally the people who are going to be watching it are here anyway.
So we're just getting a preview.
So I purchased this thinking it was a long coat.
Okay.
Hold on, let me back up. I have my table in the way. Look how big this is, though.
Oh god, yeah, you need some darts or some tucks. Yeah, that's
okay. I thought this was a coat.
500 pounds.
It's a shirt. This is a shirt. This was in the jacket. This was in the jacket section. So I'm a compulsive shopper, and it smells of extremely expensive cologne. I mean, like the stuff that even I can't afford, and I wear Versace. You can judge me. It's the only stuff that doesn't give me an asthma attack. But I'm gonna put I'm thinking about putting a back patch on this. I'm literally giving away my video, but I'm gonna add pockets to this. That's how big this is. But it makes me feel like a hobbit.
Shush up. That is true, Butterfly. I need to trust the math on calories in, calories out. Yep. That's why, as much as I don't love it, I do step on the scale at least 5 days out of the week because I need that visual. Like, if it's staying the same, are you happy with what it's staying the same? Is it going up? Then you need to either put less in your mouth or you need to move more.
Thank you, Gilroy. That's a big boy shirt. You know, right? My ex-brother-in-law, who's a complete loser, used to play for the Raiders. He's 6'7". He doesn't even wear clothes that are that big. So that's for someone who, like, did I get Shaquille O'Neal's shirt or like that's a basketball 6'9" kind of person's kind of shirt, you know? And I'm 5'9", over 200 pounds. Like, that's a big shirt.
It is.
I always see this because I'm looking for like the crazy like Art Linkletter jacket or something crazy. I wish my dad was taller. He was like barely 6 feet. Actually, I'm wearing his clothes right now.
Oh, man.
Oh man. It did make me feel like a hobbit when I put that thing on. I laughed. It is Andre the Giant shirt. I laughed so hard. I'm thinking about putting one of my tiger back patches on it. I don't know because I'm into goofy. I like. I said this in my video. Nothing is more drama than walking into a room wearing a cape. Nothing is more drama or a long coat. I've been watching a lot of fashion designers and they dress crazy.
Well, doesn't it like go with the territory? Like if you're not a little bit wild, I guess by they mean some people just like to make basic bitch clothes, and that's cool too if that's your style. There's no shade around here. Oh, we didn't. Okay, no medical, legal, financial, election fortification.
Mm-hmm.
No advice. If you happen to learn something, it's purely by accident. We're here to have fun and for sewing. So if you're an asshole, please find the exits. If
I'm
you're going to
scared
be
of that
nice,
and derecha.
right, we take constructive comments, but no jerkery. But most people around here have been very kind. So I have a very long shirt, but it's meant to be tucked in and never ever come untucked. Maybe that's the purpose of that shirt. Oh, right, like the Duluth trading with the extra long.
I buy those shirts because plumber's crack is real.
Crack kills kids.
Because and I have to wear what I call my utility belt, which when I'm like actually working, and it rips your pants down. It tears at
Right.
your pants because you're wearing two belts, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And gravity is real, regardless.
It does
of what
9.8 meters per second square.
Let's see. I made my spans. I am so proud of my green coat. I am so proud of it. I have 6 pockets. I'm gonna probably keep going and add some inside pockets. Yes, no jerkery. That's I'm not into tattoos, but if I had one in, it would be somewhere in my body. No jerkery.
Yeah, so I needed a quick project. So with the rest of what I'm working on, with the rest of this twin sheet is a tiered petticoat because I don't have one. And I was like, well, why not? Because everything else I'm working on right now is literally going to take me at least 300 hours if I'm like honest and realistic with myself.
I agree with you. I have a really overambitious project, and because I'm a doer, I think if I say it out loud, and I already have 12 yards set aside for it of the same material because I'm crazy.
This is literally a huge project.
But I was watching the Dick Cavett show on YouTube because I live in the past. And Lucy Arnaz, which was Lucille Ball's daughter, and Carol Burnett were on the show. Okay, and Lucy was last. So it was actually hilarious. It's interesting to listen to these people's lives. They're just interesting. Yeah. Lucy walks out in this amazing outfit, and my first thought was, I could make that. I could make that. So I'm gonna make Lucy's 1970s, late 1970s outfit for a dude. Sweet. So it's gonna be black-ish. But I'm not playing. I now have 12 yards of my poppy material.
Cute. Are you making a yurt? I know, Killer. 300 hours isn't too bad. It might be more, but that like Irish crochet dress is going to take me a hot minute. The quilted house coat between like all of the stuff, and then this mystery project, which I mean, each flower took like half an hour ish. Wow. And that was over like many years already. So then to just attach them and then.
That's why I'm scared of. I'm scared of like rhinestones and stuff because I want to rhinestone my Godless Sewing cape, but I'm like, that's gonna take a lot of time.
Don't even remind me. I still have my yellow polka dot bikini that's I have to get back to while it's still summer.
Shit. Thank you, Butterfly. Yes, I am gonna make. Okay, no joke. When I was younger, we had a man who worked for my parents that built a teepee and showed the people that worked there and showed me. I know how to make a legit, actual, real giant teepee. They're actually really cool. You can put a fire in the middle. They're so much fun. Teepees are awesome.
I know the first peoples where I lived had long houses and not teepees. So I've learned I've seen how they build a longhouse, but
this guy was a total survivalist before it was cool. This was like in the early 90s. He would walk to work. He was talked about like not having a carbon footprint in the 90s. Like he was ahead of the time, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm thinking about I fell in love with that fabric and I wanted to do something crazy with it because Lucy's outfit is crazy, but the 70s were loud.
I threw out Kilroy needs powerful meds to do rhinestones.
Yes.
Well, and I think too the the choices of like, are you going to sew them on or are you going to glue them on and need to be in a well ventilated area to because of glue fumes.
So is somebody okay? I'm asking this as a complete rookie question, and I'm willing to admit there's certain things I just don't do. Is there a glue I should or should not use? Keep in mind I have JMB Weld, every kind of like super glue you could think of in this room.
This is the one that the costumers, the dance costume and burlesque dancers use.
Awesome.
This E6000. I haven't opened it yet, but it's still malleable. So
you literally showed me something I don't have. I'm shocked.
You're late to the party, Kat. Come on. Where did I leave your snackies? Hold on. Where did I leave the snack?
You would have 14 KTPs to your house. Absolutely.
Okay, what did I do? All right, I have to go get some more snacks because I'm finally being called. I heard you. You guys are late, and then I lost the snacks.
I'm amazed at that joint. That thing looks like professional cigar. You'd buy a pipe and thank you. I actually needed that. I've been rolling since before I'd like to admit, and it's an art form. And a long time ago, I had a friend who came from Hamburg, Germany, and I didn't know at the time. Gosh, this was 30 years ago. Well, 20 something. In America, we didn't put filters in our J's. At least I didn't. And he taught me how to put filters in my J, and he domesticated me. I've been rolling for a long time.
Oh, I just miss back in the day where it was a pinch of tobacco mixed in there. Those were nice ones. The snacks are hidden in that project you won't tell us about. No, actually they were in the kitchen, but they very well could have been hidden over there because my workstation, well, what you can't see won't hurt you guys.
Oh, that reminds me. The gray and white kitten, he now accepts the fact that I exist. Oh, cat camp.
Yeah. Oh, at least we didn't have butt licking on the stream. This is not the kitty OnlyFans channel.
I've seen a few extremely funny videos on YouTube about that, where someone's like at school or they're in a meeting and the cat just flashes the entire group.
Like,
not that kind of party, cat. It is not that kind of party.
Right. This is not the kitty OnlyFans channel. That's on the locals exclusive.
But as somebody who's owned dogs most of their life, I find it really ironic that I've been adopted by a bunch of cats.
Well, they're easy. You feed them. It's like it's not that hard to corral cats. You just need to shape the snack sack.
I am officially the crazy cat lady in my backyard in my pajamas talking to cats at 7:30 in the morning, watering my not tomatoes. My not tomatoes are already growing.
Oh,
I gotta jump this year.
We just put in real tomatoes. I've got 2 Romas, 2 cherries, 2 cayenne peppers, and 2 jalapenos.
Awesome.
Yep, and I've learned. Did I tell the story before? There's this Mexican gentleman I used to know who always grew really great pepper plants, and he said the secret was to go out and like smack your pepper plants around a little bit because it would make them spicier. So now my friend and I go to the backyard and we beat up my pepper plants. Yep, Kilroy. Here's my ass. Oh, I'm too short and the sewing machine's in the way. That did not turn out as funny as I'd hoped it would be.
Dogs are toddlers. See, but I miss having dogs because a dog will, like, I grew up around big dogs, like scary guard dogs that were the size of humans.
Oh,
so,
thanks.
like, A Rottweiler will go to bat for you.
I know, Romas are so good. And I have such little. I have a hard time. I love me a big beefsteak, but I can't keep my plants watered enough to grow anything super big. So I've learned over the years it's just easier to stick to littler tomatoes.
So there's very few things that because I had to grow up, but I refuse to grow old. So there's a few things that make me feel like an adult, and it's the fact that I have house plants that are alive. I actually have 5 house plants. So because I have a water regimen for my houseplants, I have one for the backyard. That's why the cats, because during the winter I don't go out there. The cats are like, "Why is this human coming in our backyard? Like he thinks he lives here too."
Face, right? And you're like, well, if I pay the rent or the mortgage, I'm the money handler around here.
You know what though? They haven't done anything crazy to my yard. They're pooping somewhere else. You guys can live here. I don't have any no rats around here. Hey, you filled out your W-2. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of, oh no, took the coverings off one of my customers' featherweight cases after I removed her gently from the room. I did a deep breathing and I was okay. Oh no. This is why I don't do things for other people. It scares me too much.
Puppies are like goats. They will chew through anything. Puppies are. Oh wow.
Ooh. There's so much clay in my soil that growing stuff requires stupid amounts of Miracle-Gro or truckloads of soil that I can't afford. Fair. I know that East Coast soil with all the glacier smuck is basically like you might as well just dig it up and start become a potter.
Is that called like alluvial soil? Because here we call that alluvial soil, but I think it's more pertaining to because the second you said glacier, it triggered something because I actually had to take a class, did not pay attention. I passed it to get my certification, but in the canyon where I'm in, you can literally see where the glacier slowly passed through because millions of years, and they say in that area we have alluvial soil, but we grow all kinds of stuff over there too. We grow alfalfa and hay. You know,
yeah, I don't know,
but it's of course I live on the West Coast where the sun shines every day. You know, we till the soil.
Yeah, I
literally with a tractor. I'm like driving it with a tractor. You know,
right. I mean, I took geology in university, and actually I remember one day in particular because I got up early. I went to my practice room in the music building, practiced for a little bit, went to class, 9:30, 9:15 on Tuesday, September 11th. I was sitting in geology class.
I knew Alibaba and Kilroy. Both of you should hop in someday.
Now it's called. Oh man, I know you two are so funny. You don't even have to show your face. I just want to hear your voices because you two folks just like make me hysterical.
Oh my gosh. There are literally 2 white featherweights and 6 other featherweights on my own in the same area. She picked up only one that wasn't mine. Boo. Oh, that's the worst.
She's like, this doesn't smell like my mom. I want this one. This does not smell right.
I'm in groups like that too where I can see where people purchase other stuff. Oh, that's the worst. It happens to me a lot. That happens to me.
I know somebody still has that featherweight up on Craigslist for $600, and I'm just like, this is not the right market. And I wonder, somebody else has got a old, like, is it a Blue Brother, a pinkish Morse, and they're like asking $100 for the Morse. Said they paid more than that, and they don't even know if the thing works. I'm like, what are you doing? Like.
With modern machines, that's the worst. When you're going to pay a high price and they don't work, I'm almost offended if I pay over a certain price and they don't work. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
I know. Somebody still has that featherweight up on Craigslist for $600, and I'm just like, this is not the right market. And I wonder, somebody else has got a old, like, it's a Blue Brother, a pinkish Morse, and they're like asking $200, $100 for the Morse. Said they paid more than that, and they don't even know if the thing works. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
with modern machines, that's the worst. No, this should have been $20 or $30 if it didn't work, you know?
Right. And then to
That's what the
resell
more,
it and still not know, I'm like, come on.
oh, you know what's so funny? When my predecessor passed away, we used to buy lockers. We invested in a lot of stuff. There was a lot of things that I didn't know what they were, so I did the research on it. I mean, heavy research. I would cross reference to make sure that I wasn't getting ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how I know so much about sewing machines, because I Google it. You know,
I have nothing else to be thankful for. I'm sure you've got all sorts of things to be thankful for. Oh, Allie, you've got one of those Blue Brother that looks like the 15 clone. Maybe
oh
that's
wow.
what it looks beautiful. Like it looks great, but I'm like, I'm not. Why do I want to spend that if I don't know if it works? Like I'd spend 20 and then I'd bring it on and be like, all right, crew, all right, clowns, I need help. Let's troubleshoot this machine.
I paid. All right, let's look. I paid $40 for my 1950s Singer. I paid, I think, 35 for its cousin that isn't in, well, no, I paid 40 for the industrial. For a 1950s industrial Singer sewing machine, I paid $50 for. I paid 35 for the 1950s. Um, every single table here, I paid under 40 or $50 in this room. Every single table. I'm I'm a negotiator. I will haggle. I will haggle with people. So I like when I hear certain prices, I'm like, that's crazy. Even that's why I don't walk into Rooster's Relics unless I have a couple $100 in my pocket, because I know it's gonna cost me money. I don't even want to insult him by walking in and not buying something. I have to drive past it every day because it's across the street from my job.
Oh, it might be time to change my needle.
Alibaba, I sold two 1950s Singers for over $500 each. I call it the California price. If it didn't have a video, it gets sold within a week. The ones that I make video for, I'm like, oh, this is too good for. I'm gonna keep this. I am the Gollum of sewing machine. My precious. Oh, someone's gonna cut that.
Oh my gosh, I'm hoping to win the bid on a 175th Singer anniversary red hand crank machine. Have you heard any reviews on that machine? Looks fabulous. That sounds fabulous. I've not. You gotta haggle. Yup, some people out there asking psychotic prices. I know. I'm like,
Oh
what
yeah.
is no?
And you know, it's funny. Back on to my son's extremely spoiled and a lucky child. That guy, like, I came to him. I was like, hey, bro, like, you want 10 grand for this truck? He's like, yeah. I said, I'll give you 2,500 cash. I pulled it out of my pocket, and he's like, no, I want $10,000 for this truck. Let me tell you, if someone walked up to me and asked me and offered me 2,500 for my truck that doesn't run, I would be like, you can have it. Take it.
Right.
I will tow it for you.
Right, I'll help you hook up the chains or put it on the flatbed. It just let me grab my winch.
People want insane prices. And you know what? We like around here we call it Disneyland prices, but I know it's not just a California thing. I know it's
Mhm.
like I know it's everywhere. Where do you think it's because of inflation?
I think so, and I think oh, what's the words? People. I think it's the same reason why people buy like fancy handbags that they think things are an investment piece and they don't realize like unless don't spit on your new microphone.
I always
If
thought that was weird.
yeah, if things don't work like it's like when you it or like China too, like the new Blue Willow, it's cute, but it's not pricey. There's only a handful of like
Mhm.
really valuable Blue Willow pieces. Most of it's just bog
Really,
standard.
really quickly, Gilroy, because I buy a lot of fabric. Like it, speaking different languages helps too. Especially like Santee Alley is becoming famous again because it's basically the fashion district of Los Angeles, and it's like fabric hoarders heaven. You walk there, and it's just fabric everywhere. And if you don't haggle, they will charge you high prices.
Oh, you know everything. So that 170th singer is made in India, and it was sold as an art piece, not as a working machine. They
Wow!
suck.
I have quite a few.
Yeah.
That's like when I started buying. I thought were mini sewing machines, and they were literally toy Singer sewing. I bought a toy thinking it was. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And that thing, it's around here somewhere. That disgrace of a sewing machine.
Well, that was like Seamstress video. Her Keep Her Yeet video. She tried 2 different handheld sewing machines this morning, and she's like, "I have high hopes for these machines, and I hate every single one of them."
I did one of those a while ago, and I called mine the Singer hand job. Because that's what it was. It was a hand job, and you'd hold on to it and then hold it. That thing just bites. It works, and I don't know how you wind the bobbin. So once that white thread is done, I don't know how you rewind.
Right, you need to take it to an actual sewing machine to wind the bobbin.
And I agree with Butterfly, because as someone who's obsessed with buying sewing machines, all of a sudden there was not a sewing machine for a good year and a half. I could find them, but the newer sewing machines, all of a sudden they were not on the shelves at all. The older ones, because nobody knows how to work the older ones, they were everywhere.
You're like, all right, we're gonna go down this way.
Oh, I went crazy during the pandemic. I will admit, like when the lockdown first hit, I didn't realize how much of an outdoors person I was. I didn't realize how much I left the house every day.
Oh, Kilroy! At a car wash, at an outside scene outside a car wash, we give the best hand jobs in town.
You know what's funny? Those signs work. Those signs, like people, for the longest time, the church that I used to go to, on their sign, it said, "Sign broken, message inside." I laughed every time I drove past that thing. Every time I drove past that thing, I laughed. Because I bet some schmuck was like, "Is the sign really broken?" And they're like, "No, join our cult. Come right in here."
Just welcome through the front door.
Catholics are different. They don't have to ask you to join. They got a bunch of shiny stuff. Eventually, you're gonna want to join sitting in there. The priest wears a dress, a flashy one. First man in a dress I ever saw was in church.
Yeah, I think so.
Speaking of which, where's my cape? So rhinestones are difficult, huh? Because I want my godless.
No, they're just time consuming, but also you should get one of the fancy tools. Did I?
And it's not necessarily something that I've ever. I've never worked with like gems or stones or anything like that.
It's not terrible.
We can't pass the drops in. That would work here. People would be showing up asking crazy questions. That would work here in LA.
But okay. Let's see here. You should get one of these doodads also, because this has got a wax tip that you put on the rhinestone so that you can set it in the glue, and then it's got a little pointy piece so that you can adjust it. And I can't remember, it came in a set of 2 for maybe like $10 or something on Amazon. Yeah, so I mean it's fine. It's just differently time consuming.
Yikes.
Oh, good luck.
I was about to say the same thing. Good luck. Do you know, whenever I fess up, like they'll say hello and I'm like, this and this happened. I don't even say hello. I'm just like, this and this happened and this, and I'm so sorry.
Right. How can we rectify this?
You got to get your groveling in early.
Right. And then figure out
man.
how you're going to rectify it.
A while ago, I used to work. Everybody at my job is extremely scared of me because of nepotism. And there was one woman named Dorothy. I love her. She was such an amazing person. She was not scared of me. She was Polish. She's the
Oh yeah.
She didn't care who, and she worked. My mom is her boss, but she worked for my dad. So she was the only female who was like a head in the department of operations.
Mm-hmm.
And I crashed the truck one time. And I'll never forget, she grabbed me and she was like, and she's the only one who ever had cojones to tell me to my face, you are so lucky. She grabbed me and she was like, if you were anybody else, we would drug test you and fire you. You degenerate. You are so lucky. You are.
Right. Oh, that's a good idea. Recover the featherweight case with a guitar case vinyl.
Oh. Alibaba, I write this stuff down. You think I'm playing? Like
I know. I take out my phone and I'm like, "Where's my camera? I need to literally take a picture of my screen." I guess that's a literal screenshot.
I think I have amp vinyl.
Okay.
How do you restore those old? I have a few old Singer, the original boxes that go on top, but they're so raggedy I don't put them back on. Especially for my I think that's a 1930s Singer. I have the original box that went on it and everything. But it's so ratty. If you walked past it, you would think it's ready for the trash.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. To see if she'll switch out for a nicer case you have, and you'll use hers to learn how to recover them. That I would take that offer if it was mine.
Well, sometimes there's nothing that you can do. If it's like I'm the deed's done kind of guy. So if you called me and you're like this and this happens, I'm like, okay, how can we rectify the situation?
Yep.
Yes. Alibaba.
Is there any way to save that pressed paper after it's like, I think that's
just like my table. Like my table was unreconcilable. I kept all the pieces I could. If somebody ever wants to redo that, I will mail that to you. It smells like old wet wood too. Like 100. Keep in mind these pieces are over 100-something years old too. These tables.
Right, so it's seen a lot of wood. It's a good thing it doesn't have like the wood weevils or any bugs.
You know what's really funny? I always think about that. I'm like, if a termite ever wandered in this room, it would be like, I'm in Shangri-La. Heaven exists.
I'm gonna gorge myself. No.
That's like when a moth finds its way in here, or like when the door will be closed and a moth will fly by and like, I was born here. There's so much clothes in this room you would never know.
Oh, yeah, I worry about that for my hand spun wool stuff, so I try to be careful. It's the only insect I kill is the moths.
I had mothballs in the middle bedroom for a while, but that smell reminded me of my grandparents. I hated that smell.
Oh, I love it. My grandma's house smelled like mothballs and Jewish chicken soup, and I'm like, bring it on. It smells like my grandma.
I think it's because I'm the one who finally got all of their stuff in the end.
Yeah.
So my storage unit still smells like it smells like Captain Black pipe tobacco and mothballs. Between my grandma's house and my dad's stuff, like it just reeks of pipe tobacco.
Yeah. All right, so I guess you can steam bend a new top and then save the sides to reuse them. Okay.
I like that. I actually have equipment that can do that at the shop too. Some of those European turtles are made of fruit wood. Oh, If there's a worm bug that loves them, little pinholes all over them sometimes. Yikes. Where I live, we're really susceptible to termites. I don't know if it's a weather thing. They love this area. We have a lot of oak trees here, a lot of we're semi-established here.
Right. I know. I was going to try, not that I would have a good place to put it. I was going to pick myself some lilacs for my background, but I can't hang them from my hula hoops. What's everybody working on today? Anybody got any fun projects?
All right, let's count. Okay, that's 12 yards. 16, 20, 24, 28. Yikes, 32. I need professional help. 36.
All right, while he's counting
40.
out loud.
I have over 60 yards of fabric right here.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know. There must be some place that you can still get mothballs, but I've not looked for them in a hot minute, so I don't know. Yeah,
Alexa,
no lilacs.
What's the replacement for mothballs?
FromAllCultures.org. Cedar blocks. Cedar shavings or cedar oil represent non-toxic alternatives to mothballs. If you're ever looking
Alexa,
for cooking,
thank you.
Anytime. Literally. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend.
Thank you. Sometimes Alexa doxes me. She'll say my exact location. Like,
Oh no.
So I have to cut her off sometimes.
Oh, we're live, Alexa. You need to pay attention. We're not recording.
Well, there's certain questions I've learned not to ask the A word because it'll say exactly where I am. Like, it'll ping me. It said something about cedar wood. I have we use cedar for everything. So I could go get a bucket of cedar right now.
Right. Well, make things work for me. Are you going out to eat?
We're not going out.
Sorry, my human is distracting me right
That's
now. I
okay.
should have put myself on mute.
What's the temperature over there? Is it hot?
90.
Oh yeah, we're shiny. The
All right.
West Coast, we are shiny on the
No,
West
it only says 86. Yeah, I probably should have put some like setting powder on my face so that I don't look like a giant grease bug.
I'm not prepared. Usually, I did put a soda in the fridge though. I used to be, when I was a plucky young YouTuber, when I first started, I would come with my bottled water, my eyes, like I was prepared for long streams. Now I literally show up with fabric and hope for the best.
Well, that's what you really need. Who needs to be able to talk?
Cedar is great for keeping away moths. That's what I use. Ooh, and it smells good too, Alibaba.
It does. I know. I do have some cedar.
I literally have buckets of it on my jaw.
Yes. Oh, so you should get some of your scraps, sew some little pouches and stuff them with cedar shavings, and then you're recycling 2 pieces of waste.
I do because I've been reading that Sachet's book.
Right?
I never stopped reading that thing. I never stopped. Oh my gosh, that's from I think that's from when I first met you. I'm still reading that thing. I'm still reading.
Rub it in. That is summer hot. Oh gosh. I know, I'm sorry it's only 62 out there, but I know my East Coast friends, you have that horrible word called humidity where 90 here does not feel like 90 there.
I was just having this conversation today with my mother about the heat. Okay, so I know here something semi-traumatizing happened to me yesterday, and I have to talk about it. I have to. And it's not anything bad. It's just first world problems. But, and keep in mind, the human being that I am talking about is my brother from my mom's, my parents Were married a few times. I have 9 brothers and sisters. I come from a giant family. I was never taught to call anyone step. And because I was the oops baby, I'm the last. They were literally in their 20s when I was born. Like literally. So anyway,
they were all shaking their heads like, parents, you're still doing that stuff?
Yeah,
how did this happen?
I would like people think I'm playing. Like my niece is a year younger than me. Like the first one. I tell her all, and she's taller than me. I tell her all the time, you are not allowed to call me uncle. And she's like, you are my uncle. I'm like, this is awkward. But anyways, so it's Mother's Day weekend, been hanging out with the family, and my brother, he goes by Mr. Pasadena on Twitter. You can go, he has thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. He's a yuppie. He lives in $1 million house. He's 5'6", and he's almost 400 pounds.
No, you're not supposed to be as round as you. Your waist circumference is not supposed to equal your height.
So I go to Godless Oops. Do you know what's really funny? When they found what was it, Utsi in the Alps, when they found that Neanderthal guy, I could be Godless Oopsie. They'd find me in the snow. His parents were ancient. But like, so keep in mind, like, this man was a Marine. My brother has, see, I'm saying this because I couldn't say this on my own channel because I know he hate watches me. I know he hate watching me.
So you assume that he hasn't come to hate troll my channel now?
You never know. He's probably one of those like 50 people that watch it after. But long story short, like I come from a long line of people who are mouthy. Like they do. My mother has no filter. The reason why she's in charge is because she's not scared, and she's short. My mama's not scared. She is a very like straightforward woman. So I get to the door and my brother's like, have you accepted the Lord Jesus Christ? And I'm like, get out of here. Wrong house. So we're instantly giving each other a hard time. And I open the door and I can tell by his face. And keep in mind, my brother has asthma just like me. So when you're asthmatic, you cannot, the more you tax your heart, it's a snowball. It's a giant snowball because you can't breathe. Then my heart hurts. And I'm in my 40s and like I'm gonna have to stop eating pastrami pretty soon. And I'm gonna have to start taking better care of myself. And I actually eat vegetables every day. Long story short, it was really sad to see a man who's ran 20-something marathons. He was a Marine. My brother was the healthiest human being I've ever known in my entire life. He damn near raised me because my parents were so much older. He took me to WrestleMania. He was a non-weirdo. He was a good guy, and I always hear these horror stories, and my brother was just a good influence. He was a positive male influence, and he married an Italian woman, a real one.
Yeah, you have to learn how to stop because there's no. What is it about ethnic grandmothers? It doesn't matter where they come from. Because even my friend next door was born in India. He still is. He has this like, you got to eat, and I'm like, you get fat shamed if you eat too much, and then you are like, but then in like the next day they're like, you're too skinny, eat more. It's like there's no winning with it.
One of my biggest pet peeves is when people berate me in Spanish and tell me I'm too skinny. It makes my skin crawl because I come from a long line of stout people.
Yes.
And my mom was the first person, and we know this because of DNA tests. In 500 years, she was the first person to get with a non-European. My father was a non-European, and so he was skinny. He was extremely like stereotypically skinny. My dad was, for all intents and purposes, he was an African, and so I have a different body type than some of my family members. I have a cousin who's a biker. He is 6'3", and the guy is 6'3" this way too.
I just don't get it. Like, sometimes it makes me laugh on Nick Ricada's channel when people like pay him to do the fat shaming, and they just make me laugh. But if you've got your own gravitational forces,
I'm not fat. I'm not fat shaming. I always thought he'd outlive us all, and that's another thing. He walked from the car to the effing house and was labored.
Yeah, that just makes me sad. Like, do you care about yourself, your kids, your grandkids? Do you want to be able to get up off the floor and just walk to the toilet without being out of breath?
And I really want to preface this, like, I'm not fat shaming. Like, he's not gonna live long. He is not. And you know what? We are unhealthy people. We have bad lungs. In my family, we have bad lungs. Like, you can't, like, oh man, on both sides. On both sides of my family.
Yo, Kilroy, you're like an Italian grandma. Everybody could use at least a few extra pounds, and you gotta eat more. No, we're not gonna talk about how uncomfortable I am in my skin.
I'm like that with my son. And here's the problem, like, it's a generational thing. Isaiah has the benefit of knowledge. So he reads on the internet, maybe I shouldn't be semi-morbidly obese because I'm an American teenager. I think he should be. So I'm like, here, eat this. Why aren't you having a chocolate? I am literally Marge Simpson. I'm like, why are you not eating a chocolate sundae? You better finish that chocolate sundae for breakfast.
Oh, gross. No.
And he's a health nut. And it's weird to me to, like, when we go to the Greasy Spoon, he's ordering veggie burritos. And I'm like, I need a pastrami with the au jus. I'm a crazy person.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating fun stuff sometimes, or I just prefer to figure out how to make the stuff I like in a way that's 80% is flavorful with less calories. So, like,
I think that's
low fat
my
mayo,
problem.
low fat sour cream. There's some.
Ever since I had to go healthy because of my health, that's my problem. That's why I splurge, because I eat healthy. I'm a fruit and vegetables kind of guy. You would laugh at my diet, but once or twice a week, I go to the Greasy Spoon or order a pizza that would stop a heart. I agree, Kilroy. Veggie burritos are treason. Oh my gosh, for the longest time, he would get that, what's that stuff? Beyond Meat?
Oh, yeah.
Smell it and tell me you want it in your house. Smell it. Smell it. Smell it. Tell me you want it in your house.
I don't understand the vegan food that pretends to taste like meat. Either, like, eat vegetables or just eat meat. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
I agree, Alibaba. And, I do grow my own food, too. So for as much as I front, like, I'm this size, I have to, because of my health issues, I have to eat healthy. I do not have a choice. And I'm allergic to a lot of the new age stuff. Like, whatever Lay's puts in their chips makes my eyes swell. And I eat Indian food, so I know it's not spices.
Right.
Beyond Meat is processed chemicals. Thank you. It smells like, I don't even want to say, I know YouTube has lots of restrictions. It smells like something that starts with B and ends with ud. It doesn't smell right to me. It's
yeah. Well, actually, this is a good. I do actually have a list for some random things for today, but I was watching the Dark Horse podcast yesterday, and their last thing that they were talking about was this. I'm going to forget the name of the chemical because it's going to escape my brain. But they're putting it on fruits and vegetables so that they can last longer in the fridge. So, like, an avocado, 28 days in the fridge that you can still eat. And it's like, no. And
I need to know that food goes bad. I need to know this. I don't eat it when that's the process of life. It goes bad for a reason. There's a actual, like, biological process, so it will return to the earth.
Yeah, I know, and it was interesting. Like they couldn't find. You can't get like the safety data testing. The research from it. The last one on the list of all these like shell companies was the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We're like, okay, I trust them to care for us as far as I could throw them.
The problem with Bill Gates is that he looks at us scientifically, not from a human standpoint. So we're a number. We're not actual people. Administrators do that, cops do that, but we don't have like people don't have money like Bill Gates does. It's
No.
easy. It's easy to categorize someone when you dehumanize them. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think he really cares about humans. I think he just cares about his rich cronies, and everybody else is just like this science experiment. Because if this molecule is going to be on all of our food, and there's no long-term safety data, we don't have a control group anymore. If there's some like increase in certain sicknesses or this, that, or the other thing, they can be
But
like,
with GMOs, we're like what 20 something years into GMOs, and like extra beta carotene doesn't kill you. People thought it was
no, but
going
it
to
can
kill
turn
you.
you orange after a while.
Well, if
Actually,
you eat
that's
too
not true because it can be liver toxic. Vitamin A is fat soluble, which is beta carotene, so it could be problematic.
So kids are getting drunk off of apricots, man. These kids would not have been able to hang in my childhood. We had an apricot tree and a fully stocked bar in my house. My parents, like, I grew up in a house with firearms and booze. Just knew not to touch any of it.
Right, we were Americans.
I think of it I think about my grandparents' house. They always had what are those? A decanter of some sort of brown liquor.
Yeah.
Like that was in a candy jar. I still have the candy jar, the world famous candy jar from my grandmother's house.
Oh, they looked fine after 29 days. Yeah, there comes a point in the tech industry where you basically have to become a robotic psychopath. I think, yes. Must be that new spray on the fruit. Yeah, it's called APEEL, Appeal.
Oh, wow.
And you can't wash it off. And somehow it's supposed to like take out the water so that as I don't get it. It was a very they've become one of my new depressing guilty pleasures.
I never understood how insane pesticides were until I lived in good old Stockton, California with my ex-wife. Her father lived on a property that overlooked a 300, and that was the other side of town. It was just basically all flat land. And after burn season, when everything was growing, they would, come in with their biplanes and spray chemicals. They would leave the house for a week. And I would tell them, like, you live here. And the guy's like, oh, I love the area. But I'm like, why do you have to? He's like, we do it every year. They would literally leave their house for a week or two and they'd board up their house, take all the animals because it was on a farm. But it was so crazy to me. Now that having that conversation, I have to call my ex-wife, and now I wonder what happened to all the horses and chickens and.
Oh. Yeah, I don't consent to being somebody else's science experiment without being asked permission.
I'm just saying, like,
I don't consent.
I agree. I didn't because I'm such a city person. We live in ignorance, and I didn't think it was real until I saw it with my own two eyes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, they really are." Like, and you know what? And I hate to break it to you, like, at least on the West Coast, any food that you eat comes from Central California or Oregon. If you live on the West Coast, anything that you eat is grown in the Golden Triangle, so to speak. It's not just for pot; it's for, there's a reason why it's the Golden Triangle, because the soil is perfect.
Well, it used to be before we stopped remediating it. Now we're just like killing it.
And well, people are pirates with water now too.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. I was trying not to talk about water today. Yeah, that too.
Yes, we have lime in my job, Kilroy. Totally.
Yep. Or if you're making old-fashioned soap. Oh, that's lye, not lime. Never
I
mind.
Do you know when I go to the chemical counter, I'm like, man, I should have paid attention in class. How am I in charge? How am I in charge? We have this. I'm gonna take a picture of it. We have this giant cabinet at my job, and it's the like, don't smoke over here corner.
Right. Wear your respirator, wear your gloves. Do you need a hazmat suit?
I swear, Walmart buys almost all lettuce from California. The entire Central Valley is one giant farm.
Mm-hmm.
It's people don't live in Central California like it's not like down here. Like we live in one giant clump. Just in my county, there's 10 million people. Just on my because this county is next to Ventura County. It's next to San Bernardino, and Anaheim's a whole other world. Just in LA, there's 10 million people, and that's census numbers. So it's more like 15.
Right. Well, it's probably going to be more, or probably more over the past couple of days now that they repealed that Article 42 or whatever.
From the Venezuelans?
Well, everybody who's coming up through Mexico, I almost had, I shouldn't laugh.
Oh.
It's not really funny that Kamala Harris got like 33 new neighbors dropped off bus to her house.
I watched the Spanish channel, and that there was a contract. Hi everyone, this is me. Someone is hell-bent on stealing my identity, so this Hi Liz. Oh, I hope you find out who is trying to steal your identity.
Yeah,
that makes me want to cry. We missed you.
Things.
I forgot what I was gonna say now.
All right. Well, while you think about it, I know what I was going to say about this whole thing that just really made me upset. So, in New York State, I knew I shouldn't have done it this way. There was a number. What did they say in the article? There was a hotel they call in like 70 miles north of New York City, which is not upstate, but north of New York City, that they were housing some homeless veterans, and they were supposed to have a 30-day temporary period where they could be there while they were getting other things situated so they could hopefully move on to more stable housing. Well, they got kicked out of their hotel rooms so that they could house some of these new migrants coming up. And I don't that they're being used, like that the migrants are being used as political pawns. I don't know. I've just got a lot of anger about that whole situation right now. And that I don't know other than like talking about it, I don't know how to like do anything about it.
I think part of the problem is that people have become, it's an emotional issue. And so, like, they even say it on the Spanish channel, like, you have to separate the emotion away from what's going on.
Yeah.
And right now, did you see the footage in Texas where people were trying to storm the border?
Oh, yeah, because they were saying like 33,000 people were trying to come
They picked
through.
the wrong state. And it's funny.
Yeah.
In California, they would have let them just walk through. Here, honestly, if they had done that in California, they would have been like, "Oh, crud! Welcome to America." They would have let them walk right in,
Right. Here, sign your reparations papers here so we can give you money for stealing stuff.
Texas does not play. And I was watching it on the Spanish channel, and they were like, they picked the wrong state. Like, of all places on earth, even Arizona would have let you walk in, and Arizona's worse than Texas.
Right. They're not. I know, and the thing too is that the Democrats seem to think that they're going to get a whole bunch of new voter constituents, but some of these people just left communist countries or socialist countries like Venezuela, Colombia, all these places. They're going to vote Republican or populist and when they decide to vote. They're not like
the world. This is happening around the world, though. This is happening around the world. it's not just exclusive to the US,
Yeah.
And so we're like, what's happening? This is history. I can't believe you're making me spout college. In the world, this is why, and I hate to say this, and I'm not saying this from a nationalistic standpoint, I'm saying it from a history standpoint. Borders are important for a reason, because a third world country will always bring down the first world country, where they will slowly meld into it. And you know what? You can judge me all you want. History is on my side. Every civilization that has ever fallen, it's not because of one big battle. It's because of the slow pack of that society falling. And it's usually agriculture, infrastructure, and some sort of money. But
welcome to the last days of America. We are on the final chapter, folks. We'll see if there's a season 2.
I can't believe you're literally making me spout college. This is literally from history. This is just factoid. It's not like, my emotions,
Oh, darn, we accidentally learned something.
I don't even
get it. I know, it's throw some money at the problem and not feel guilty anymore versus actually solving the problem and making things better. Absolutely. It's the same thing like I was talking about a couple of weeks ago with the homeless industrial complex. If we fixed homelessness, the Democrats wouldn't have anything to talk about. Like, what would their platform be?
They're failing right now in California. Well, you know what? I need to give the mayor some time. No, I'm going to shut my mouth. I need to give the mayor. She just got elected. She made a bunch of... See, here's the problem. When you make big promises, the people who follow the rules look at you like, okay, I followed the rules. It's your time. It's your turn to follow the rules.
And they don't realize they're all just pretty talking points. Like, or the fun... Oh, my gosh. Oregon just, like... gave a baby slap to the back of the Democratic Party's hand because they took money from one of the FTX engineers and lied about it on the donation form, and then decided that instead of having to pay the $35,000 penalty, they were going to drop it to like 15 or something for falsifying donation records. Like, what? Oh, God.
So I have a question. Is San Francisco going to give me $5 million? I have papers. I have direct African ancestry. I can.
Where are they going to? What are they not going to pay so that they can have that much money? What school is not going to get funded? Where are they going to move the money from?
The weird thing to me is that, like, I don't even know how to say this nicely. Like, here in California, people of color are a majority, okay? So I see more people of color who are success stories than aren't, if you know what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
Like, in my neighborhood, I know quite a few people that are homeowners, like, that are young. They're younger than me on a home. I look at them like, you have to be a cop. You have to be a cop. But, like, my whole point is, I don't know.
Oh, they do, Liz, especially in Good Omens. Oh my God, that book is so good.
I don't even, again, disclaimer. I've been canceled by every club you could possibly think of. I grew up in the suburbs. I grew up around white people in the 80s and the 90s. I am disconnected from certain worlds, So part of me is like, I've already been canceled in that group. I always thought reparations were kind of weird. God, I'm gonna get so canceled. I'm scared to say it because we're ran by such politically correct BS. I've had to work hard for the position I'm in, and no one's ever handed it to me. If I won an Oscar, I'm not kidding you, I would thank myself. I would be like, God is showing, I want to thank you. I would get full third person psycho and be like, you are amazing. You
just don't go all juicy on us.
No, because in the end, like, I don't know. I was raised by a pick yourself up by your bootstraps kind of person, so I have nothing positive to add to this.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We don't need to but if you want to stop on today's misadventures.
If you want to give me $5 million, I will buy that Harley, that $40,000 Harley that I've. I'm just saying.
Right, because then you'll have money for the speeding tickets. This is how they're going to get you, how they're going to divert the funds.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm a lead foot, and being ticketed has taught me to slow the hell down. And when I drive my truck now, and my truck is not it's not a roadster and a speedster. You have to have patience to be in my truck.
It goes to 0 and 60 in about 5 minutes. You'd be like Eastwood and be talking to an empty chair.
I am Kilroy. I am that guy in that movie. Do you know? I don't know if anyone's ever seen the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas. He's slowly going insane because his life sucks. Like, don't watch it unless you're in a good place in your life.
That's what my friend told me about reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. She's like, if you're thinking of self-harm, do not read this book right now.
Oh, there's quite a few things. There's music. I'm not in the mood to cry today. I don't need this. Because I actually love classical music, but there are certain pieces that will bring me to tears. And I'm like, I don't feel like being emotional today.
Yeah. Fallen is fantastic. Okay, maybe I'll have to see which streaming service or where I can find this movie. Where's my pen?
Oh, Fallen. I love that movie. I absolutely love that movie. And sometimes I feel like that. That's why I sit at home and okay, Alibaba, since you know everything that I know, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I feel like I'm speaking a different language to people who are speaking the same language as me sometimes, and it drives me insane. But it's a generational thing, because I remember when I was younger, my grandfather was like, you guys look like clowns. And then when the Jordans came out, he's like, that's patent leather. He's like, you're wearing spats. You guys look stupid. Like, why'd you pay $100 for those shoes? Like,
oh, I found a video. Maybe I should wait till June, but maybe next week if I get my act together to try. I need to make myself a pair of trapeze boots.
Ooh.
Because there's yes. I think I'm going to use that brown basket weave vinyl that I have because I have so much of it. But there's a trick I love to do that I am like black and blue and my ankles hurt. And I'm like, did I injure my expensive ankle? Is there something wrong? And I'm like, no, I just need like another literal layer of protection on my legs because I bruise like a Georgia peach.
You know what? It's funny you would say that. Yesterday at my job, because of the weather, on the old brick buildings, mosquitoes congregate in the little ones that you can't see. Especially, I'm like scratching just talking about it.
I'm gonna need to go and get a Benadryl. You're gonna make me itch.
But I had to go film. I had to do it for the tube. I had to go in the gym. But because I was completely covered wearing long sleeve and I was smoking a J, they couldn't penetrate my clothes or anything, so I didn't get bit.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh because I was properly clothed.
Right.
So I didn't get like because if I walked in there dressed like this, they would have eaten me alive.
Too many easy targets.
Yeah, exactly. I am so lucky. I am such a fortunate human being. I have my own stage. I have a gym that I can go into at any moment. I can go in there at 4 a.m. and scream F because it's a giant brick building out in the middle of nowhere. Like
you are. I'm laughing about that, and then I'm laughing at Alibaba, the plate mail shoes. I heard the chainsaw shin ankle protectors. That would be fun. I just thought I would torture myself because I've got eyelets, I've got the yards and yards of vinyl, and
I have indoor hockey gear that they make us wear when old men play. When you play in a rec league, they make you wear stupid pads.
Right, because you had to sign the liability waiver. Made you sign liability waivers, and they're still trying to protect you from yourselves.
Well, it's funny when you go on the ice, it's different. Like in a roller ring, they make you sign all these papers. On the ice, they're like, we have more money than you. Try to sue us. Go ahead. This is an ice ring. If you fell and broke your leg, you know where you are. We will sue you. We're professionals. The roller ring is it's the funniest thing. I think they have different insurance though. I think like the roller ring has different insurance than the ice ring. I could be wrong.
Juggle chainsaws too. That's assuming that I get past remedial juggling. They still only give me 2 balls. I can throw 2 hoops. I should go outside and practice more because everybody keeps asking me. Ty is like, "Can you juggle yet?" And I'm like, "No." He's been seriously. This professional has been trying to teach me for 6 years, and I feel like I'm his like worst flunky. I'm like, everybody can do it but me.
I actually saw a human being juggle chainsaws in Pendleton, Oregon, and it gave me anxiety. I was at a rodeo, and it gave me I was like, "Oh, I hope this person knows what they're doing."
Yes, flaming chainsaws. I know. Not that I need a 31st hula hoop, but I kind of want one with a wick so I can light it on fire. But then there's fire season. Well, I'm surprised you don't need to sign a waiver to go into a grocery store, right?
Where I live, Kilroy, I live in the weeniest place on planet Earth. Everybody sues. You have to have
money to sue.
I've been sued 6 times. I recently got sued by my neighbor who lost. We were just commiserating and laughing about that just recently. Me and my mom, he wasted a bunch of money, for no reason. California, I would rather get punched in my face than have to go to court. Just punch me in my face. I can walk away,
Right, just don't break anything. You can give me a little cut, but nothing that requires going to the emergency room for stitches or getting my nose reset. Thanks.
I'm more scared of someone getting my license plate and suing me for spitting out the window. People are crazy in Cali. I saw a woman once block traffic on the freeway to get someone's license plate, and she put hundreds of people's lives at risk.
Right,
for a
she's
cell
the one
phone.
Who should have been risked.
Everyone passed her. I guarantee the cops came and because LA is not necessarily what you think it is. The cops are equal opportunity employers. They don't care what race you are. They will put you in jail. That's one thing about LA. There's really not favoritism like that. If you act crazy, they will put you in jail. Speaking of which, always look when you're going to make a left. I was making a left at a Walmart the other day, and I almost did a California roll in front of 2 cops. Oh, no. And they drove past me like this. And I looked at them too. I was at 10 and 2, oops. I said, oops, out loud. Oh, they were staring at. They drove past me like, dummy. Always look.
Yeah, well, you should do that anyway. That's just good practice so that...
I was just excited that they had 12 yards of my popping material.
You were on shopping high.
Because I already had, for my Lucy outfit, I know it wasn't going to be enough. So I was like, just give me everything you got.
You looked at my Pomeranian and she lost all her fur. Now I'm suing you.
That's real. That is real. Even if you watch Judge Judy, pay attention to where the people are from. If you ever see blah, 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 California, they have a petty ass case. All the people from out of state, they're like, this person totaled my car or blah, blah, blah. Californians, it's always over a dog, a breakup. It's always over money. It's always over money. You get sued. That's why lawyers are rich here.
Lawyers are rich everywhere. Well,
they got yacht money here. Lawyers have yacht money here in Southern California,
Mm,
Oh,
too
yeah, I was gonna
crazy.
see if there's hockey on.
Too much. Oh, let's see here. What else was fun? Did anybody hear about that lady who wrote the kids' book about grieving for her 2 kids, and now she just got charged with her husband's murder?
No, I did.
I brought something new.
Man, when you commit a crime, this trips me out about people when they get away with a crime, and then they like, I don't know, people. It goes back to the old story of people like someone who robbed a bank and they got caught because they started buying a bunch of stuff.
Right, or like the guys from the XXX Tentacion who were like robbed them, murdered them, and then made the Instagram video or whatever of like throwing the cash around.
Yo, here in LA, that happens all the time where somebody will steal a cell phone, then they make a rap video on it and wonder why they get pinged by the police, you know?
Right, or like they had their location tracker on and they know that's their phone.
I always I saw this video on Twitter of this kid stealing a display of iPhones. Doesn't he know that Apple's just gonna they're literally gonna lock those phones out? They're literally just going to lock them out so they don't work at all. Especially display models, they're not even
they're not even trying to activate it, right? Yeah, that was nuts. That was super funny. And oh, poor Tim Pool had a bad week this week. What were the 2 things that he? Oh, what happened? Oh, am I gonna forget? Oh shit! Brain work. What did he? People were trying to in like 2 different legal things. People were like ancillary trying to say that he caused like these horrible things and he had nothing to do with it. And I don't care for Tim Pool, but he just had a sucky week this week. Sorry, that was such a cliffhanger. Oh, I've got a question. Go ahead.
Oh no! I was just gonna say, there's all kinds of people I don't like, but like the court of public opinion is getting out of control to the point where people think they have the power to get people fired. They have the right to stalk people. If you don't like someone, don't watch their stuff. It's not even that complicated.
That wasn't even the topic I was going to go to next, but the same thing with the Mr. Penny, who I heard one of the potentially criminal is calling him referring to him as the subway snuggler from the just but so okay, all jokes aside, so the white Marine got charged with 2nd-degree manslaughter, but the Hispanic and the black guy or whoever were also helping. No charges have been brought against them yet.
Again, court of public opinion got that guy put in jail. I agree with you, Gilroy. There was the Ford Flex that is sitting in front of my house right now. My father and I, we literally dressed like, we looked not like homeless people, but we looked like hillbillies. So we went to our local, my dad was like, hey, come pick me up. I picked him up. We went to our local car dealership. Nobody would speak to us. He was like, you know what? Let's go to the valley. We went to the valley. They were running at us. Hey, 2 people. This ninja pulled $30,000 out of his pocket cash. And I grabbed my dad. I said, bro, if I got pulled over and not had knowledge of him having that money, like they would have been.
What bank did you rob?
And he had proof. He was an old rich man. I had never seen that much money in the same place at the same time. Cash. I've seen receipts where I'm like, wow, you got more money like in the bank than I've, I've seen my mom's bank receipts where I'm like, wow, you got real money. Like, that's different.
I know, because that's in some places that's what some people make an entire year. That's like a salary for some folks.
He bought the car that I am literally looking at it right now. Well, I'm looking at it through the camera, but like he bought it cash, and they gave him a discount because he bought it cash. I still to this day, I feel weird being around large amounts of money like that. Still to this day, it's because we hold it so holy in our society. It's different though. Like if I'm gonna go, it's different. Like when I go to Vegas, I'll walk around with I've walked around with $1,500 in my front pocket with no clip or anything, and my wallet in my back pocket like an idiot. You know.
Well, they've got so many security cameras and so much like.
That is true. If you get rolled in Vegas,
it's
well,
been
no,
done. It's been on film.
Yeah, but I've seen women roll drunk dudes and just take all the money out of their pocket and walk away.
Well, because nobody cares about the pretty girls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the super pretty girl. The Vegas is like, it's like any border town where you see people, you're like, God, you are the most beautiful person in the world. What are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here?
I'm stealing your money.
Vegas is one of the most heartless places I've ever been to or seen in my life, and I'm from Los Angeles. Like, I've seen some heartless stuff, and I'm talking about at a buffet, some poor guy's passed out, and some woman walks up, she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna roll this man in front of everybody, and no one's gonna say anything."
Yeah, that's just weird. Enjoy getting your coffee, Alibaba. Let's see here. Squeeze this out.
I have not given up on my Husqvarna Viking, and through lots of tears and crying, she's working again.
All right.
Why do we call everything? Why do we gender everything? Like, why can't I call my sewing machine he?
You can.
I'm saying this more from like the Star Trek standpoint, where they call every ship she.
Well, I think it's because back in the day, only men were on ships and they got lonely. So that was the only lady that they had in their life was like their ship, their vessel.
There's this scene in Star Trek: The Next Generation where McCoy is talking to Data, and he's like, "Treat her like a lady, and she'll always take you home." And in the middle of it, you're like, "Are we talking about a starship? When did we stop talking about a starship? Wait a minute, like." See, but I'm doing what I hate when people look at old stuff and they go through modern lens. You know, I hate it when people do that.
Yeah, no, which is why I got so mad when they were like trying to PC and take all like the fat words out of the Roald Dahl books. Like, we can't. Literature is what it is. You might not like it, but if we woke wash it or modernize it, we lose the context of we lose something.
I did not know that, Kilroy. It's extremely unlucky to call a ship a she.
To not
Call a ship a she.
Right, you might sink.
Well, let's be real, but back in the day, wasn't the probability pretty high that you'd sink? Like, whales were formidable enemies to a wooden ship back in the day, you know?
Well, yeah, but they were also like engaged in risky business.
True.
And they didn't send out the big ships. You would get on like the little galley boat to actually shoot the harpoon sometimes. Isn't it also bad luck when you christen a ship, if the champagne bottle doesn't break the first time, like you should just get off?
I've heard that. And if oh, that's so funny. Do you know what? I've watched too many history clips. I instantly think to the movie Sink the Bismarck, where they're clanking the bottle against the Bismarck. I've seen quite a few christenings of ships that failed.
Yeah. No thanks.
It's one of those weird things where I'm always like why do we because we do certain things because the people before us did them, and we do them.
It's tradition.
Yeah, but we do it without explanation. Like, I'm the kind of person, I'm like, why are we doing this? Again, I'm bad in cults. I'm bad in groups because I ask questions.
Well, I think we've lost some of the reasons why we used to do stuff. Like, we just do it out of habit and not with any good context anymore.
Like, my job, you have to be a responsible person because there's no one there to check you. Like I think about it. It's the Fight Club thing, right? Like, you get up every day and you do the same thing over and over and over. Hence why I make YouTube videos at my job.
Piracy was extremely common back then too, and was until our Navy basically took control of the oceans of the world, right?
I can see that. You still can't go past the east coast of Africa.
I know, I was going to say, those Somali pirates, they're no joke. Yeah, still things. All right, what? This is another.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say another.
I was just going to say piracy is literally their gross national product.
Right.
Like when they calculate money at the end of the year, it's how much money they extorted from BP, from Exxon. They literally have a formula of how they hold these ships hostage. Like that Captain Phillips, I'm the captain now. That's like calculated how they do it.
Well, they wouldn't. I mean, what's their other product?
Drugs.
Okay, so basic, right? They have to include it because nothing's legal in there.
It's cheating. I know a lot about Africa, so like people will be like, "Oh, no." I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you the unbiased truth, like of what each country.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I saw that the judge who presided over the Parkland shooter trial resigned this week. That was fun.
When did we start putting cameras in courtrooms?
Well, technically, we should always be, because courts are public places and legal proceedings should be open to the public. And the fact that more trials are not broadcast is actually a problem.
Because I know, like, we've had this conversation before. You, as long as the judge doesn't kick you out, you can walk into any courtroom. You can in America and walk through the metal detectors. Yep. You can hang out, eat lunch all day. They got bomb cafeteria. I got divorced in Chatsworth, California. Their food is amazing. Whoever runs that canteen, you are chefs. You deserve a raise.
Even the mob has a semi-legit business they can cook the books with. I know.
Yep.
Speaking of other mob families, why? Okay, this is a two-pronged thing, because it happened the day that Santos got his 13 charges for all the shenanigans of lying and money laundering. But the Biden crime syndicate, they have like 20 businesses, but what do these businesses do? Like, what does the Biden family like make or export?
Okay, so when you have shell,
yeah.
I've actually, as someone who's actually closed a shell company, they're used to hide stuff and money.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they're used like I knew a man who passed away. He had a deed, and everybody was like, "What is this deed for?" And we went in the building, and he was hiding stuff.
Right.
So it's to wash money as well.
Yeah, I know. That's what it seems like is going on. But then what is it? Not Blinken, Yellen. No, not her. Cormer tried to subpoena the FBI to get these documentations because somebody on that council, whatever, talked to the whistleblower, and they were like, we know, we talked to the FBI and told them these things. And the FBI was like, we don't need to give you this because we need to protect our human informants, and this could be a security risk. I'm like, the legislative branch tells what laws you need to be following. You work for them, not the other way around. Well, give us the documents.
I think about this all the time. No, we have given our power away to civil servants in the United States of America. I can only speak. We in the state of California, we took our power back from the cops, and they freaked out. You should always be weary of a governing body that isn't willing to give away the power that they were given to by the people. Because that's how it works. That's it. Right. Regardless of what side you're on, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Like in America, these people have the power because we gave it to them. you know.
Right. So right, you're like, you work for us, bitch. You it made me I ugh. I was
Listen,
never such a just
I run
makes me
into it all the
mad.
time. Humans are trash. You know, I think about this all the time. Like I used to be a bit of a hippie-minded person. I was like, you know what? We don't need borders. Why do we need all these laws? Like, why do we? Now I see why. Because
Mhm.
human beings go out of their way to take advantage of each other. We have to have certain laws to be like, no, you can't hit people. You can't get in your car and having a bad day and run people over. That's not how it works. You can't go like
No,
Daryl Brooks.
right. I know. But we also just need to enforce so many of the things that they're making new laws for. We just need to enforce the stuff that's already on the books. Like we don't necessarily need more. We just need appropriate enforcement. I'm glad you're back with the coffee.
Yay, coffee.
I'm glad you guys taught me a better analogy so I can say I like my coffee black like submarine paint. I said
I've
that one
been
day at a coffee shop and they didn't get it. And I was like, well, I used to say I like my coffee like my human strong and black, and that doesn't always go over very well.
I said it in a group of people of color and everybody almost fell over.
Right?
We were like, I said so and so is in submarine paint and it was original and everybody was like, yes, I need something new to insult people with. So Kilroy, now people in Los Angeles are going to be telling each other, boy, you are darker than submarine paint. Oh, good times. Good times.
Oh, get your battery charged. Stay safe. I know they aren't cool then. I know. Weird Zennials. I don't even know what these people are. Young, little kids.
I'm over this whole grouping thing too. And because like you and I are basically the same age and you're considered a different generation than I am, aren't you? Isn't like
I,
1 year
I, I claim squarely to being Gen X. I will not be
exactly.
lumped with you silly millennials. I
Exactly.
refuse.
No, I'm not kidding you. Your year, like my year's the cutoff. It's the strangest thing to me, and we're the same age. At a certain time of year, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yup.
it's the strangest thing to me. I don't get any of this labeling. I don't get it. I prefer either Slayer of Fabric or Stoner.
You're gonna name me what I am.
Yeah, exactly. Don't name me by what I do.
Right.
Even people who know me, they're like, bro, you're still smoking after all these years.
Like, shut up. Just call me Chimney. There's smokestack.
Hey, look at Cheech and Chong. They're making so much money off. They're hugging it out on Twitter. Have you seen that? Those weird photos they have? This could be you.
Right.
And they're in their total hippie rich guy old phase.
Right. Oh, okay. So is Amber Heard really in Spain, or is she still trying to pretend she's in Spain but actually still in California?
She lives out in the middle of the desert in San Bernardino. I should. People stopped ratting on her. I'll tell you why. Because she moved there and she made friends. She's smart, and so everybody stopped pinging her location because every time there was a lie, someone would be like, "Bro, I saw her at Vaughn's yesterday."
Because she's just saying this week that she's in Madrid and all these pictures and that are completely staged. Like, who says I'm going to go for a run? Paparazzi, TMZ, meet me here. And I look at the pictures. I'm like, there's no license plates that they show on any of the cars. How do I know that she's not lying again?
There was recently a housewife. One of the Atlanta housewives got caught doing that. She is in this weird relationship with this guy from another reality show. Everybody thinks it's fake. She got caught calling the paparazzi while they were out for a run. Because people were like, why the hell? Because they live in Georgia and they're like, why would the paparazzi be standing out in the middle of the woods? Like literally the woods, bro. Like literally.
Yeah.
And she got clowned hard. And even the paparazzi, they were like, yeah, she called us.
Right?
And they came because she's famous, you know.
Oh, let's see here. They aren't cool then. Yeah, that you need to clout that. I don't know. She's such a weirdo. But good job, Johnny Depp, for getting a huge new contract with Dior for Sauvage. I still need to. Maybe I have to go to Ulta or Sephora to smell this cologne. I just want to smell it.
I can always tell. You know what's so funny? I always say like, "Oh, I can't afford it," but the truth is, I won't pay like $400 for a bottle of liquid. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
So
no, it has to have like real gold. Like if it was liquid gold, maybe I could be convinced.
Goldschlager had gold flakes in it, and that was like $25.
I know, and it was so good. Oh my god! Now I could do me some Goldschlagers right about now.
I do miss those days. I do miss those days. And you know what? I'm gonna. I've never had Fireball because that stuff wasn't popular in my day.
No, it wasn't. Now they've got the knockoff one that you can get at the grocery store, and people are suing because it doesn't actually have whiskey in it. And I'm like, New York State, you have to go to the liquor store just to buy a bottle of wine. They don't sell wine at the grocery store. Yes, Johnny Depp, the Hollywood Vampires, is on tour again. I wonder who they replaced Jeff Beck with, or if they're just going to perform without him. The only way I'll pay $400 for a bottle of liquid is if it comes from Bordeaux. Fair. Yeah, good Beaujolais. That might be worth it.
I can that's one thing, one LA thing that I like, one weird skill I have. I can tell how rich someone by the cologne they're wearing.
Right, because if you wear Axe, you're like, oh, you stole that from the Walgreens.
No, they got it behind the glass now because people are stealing so much Axe. I'm gonna take a picture. I'll show you. I damn near died laughing when I saw it. Oh,
I refuse to have Fireball out of pure principle because of the knockoff, or because you don't like flavored whiskey. Because I hear this peanut butter whiskey or these like fancy that
ew.
there's some.
I was a moonshine drinker, so if it doesn't taste like bad decisions, I don't want it.
If I can still taste and not be on my ass after 2 sips and 3 days later wake up and be like, what just happened?
I'm not getting you. I say this all the time. I quit drinking a very long time ago. But like when I would drink moonshine, on my 3rd shot, I would be like this. I would already be swaying on my 3rd shot. That's how I knew it was working, because I was like, oh yeah, the world's already spinning. Moonshine is no joke. Like that stuff is like, you could literally put it in your car and use it as petrol. Like moonshine.
Or battery acid. Do you need to strip paint off your sewing machine? I got just the trick.
Oh, man.
Up here in Canada, we like the maple ones. I know, I've heard about these maple whiskeys. Back in the day, I mean, I had to force myself to drink Dewar's a couple of times, but now...
Oh, Dewar's is bomb. Chivas Regal. I love that. I was about to say the G word. I love that ghetto stuff. Like, I love it. Telmore
It took me a while. Yeah, Shine is potent, the real stuff. I've never had it.
Oh,
though
man.
I mean, I used to make tinctures with 100 proof Everclear, but that's not really moonshine. That's just paint stripping.
I'm gonna tell you, Everclear is nothing to wag your finger at. College days, good old Arizona State University. I watched someone drown in a pool off of Everclear, and in front of me, I watched what I presume was an 18, 19-year-old kid. He was old enough to be in college. Literally started pounding a bottle of Everclear and started doing this and started falling with the bottle. Had to call the ambulance. We were dumb kids. We didn't know what to do, you know?
Right.
Everclear's
That's
no
the right
joke.
thing for alcohol poisoning. Every time I walk on trails or on the side of the road, I like to take a trash bag and clean up. I always find shitloads of Fireball bottles, never find any other kind of liquor bottle. Yeah, because they sell the crappy malt liquor ones like at the corner store that don't actually have any whiskey, but people are like, they think it. I don't know what they're thinking.
Do you know what's so strange, Kilroy? Same here. I do what's called a perimeter check at the job, because it faces a weird road that goes out in the country. I always find the pot jars because people they'll pack a bowl or roll a J and they throw it out the window, or little Fireball bottles. We had a collection for a while.
Oh, Ellie used to triple distill potato mash or corn mash, sometimes flavored with berries. That sounds good, and it's going to make me want potato vodka. Oh, vodka with grain is not really vodka. Just give me potato vodka any day of the week, please.
Now I'm just gonna start singing my Cotton Sutton song, "Rye Whiskey Rye." There cannot be a copyright on a song that hillbillies have passed over. Like, I bet there is. I bet if I sing the whole song, you'd probably get a copyright because that's how lame you do it.
It is, but sometimes some of the lyrics of certain things are in the public domain now.
It's like it's a oral tradition song that's been changed over years, passed down. Like, I know a different version than what people in Tennessee would sing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep. Why does that make me? Why do I want to sing "Down by the Bay, where the watermelons grow"? Back to my home, I will not go. All right, that was a bad tangent. And our musical interlude is now over.
It's summertime. I love the looks. I love the song Chattahoochee by Alan Jackson. But the one thing I love more is the looks I get when I'm bumping that song and people are looking at my car. They're like, that guy's an alien. He's an alien. I know he's an alien. Just a good song. I don't drink anymore, but I took that song with me when I quit drinking. It's still a good song.
Fair.
And for anyone who's wondering what I'm doing, I am patching my never-ending patch pants.
You've got more patches than pants. Especially right there.
Eventually just going to be one big patch.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I like how it's coming out, but yeah. It's weird, though. The crotch is so protected, though. It weirdly feels like way too much protection down there. It's weird.
You're wearing a cod piece that's built.
It feels like it. Because it's like much more heat because I used thicker denim, like denim from a jacket in the middle.
Oh, so when they talk about the sweaty balls, you're like, oh, shit.
And like when I, during 2020, I was so bored. I would back up all of my clothes patches with denim. So all of these patches are backed up with denim because I had nothing but time on my hand. So they're a little
might
bit
as well
more...
reinforce the cotton because that is going to wear out. So.
Oh, that reminds me. I knew someone that used to make their own moonshine. They were so disappointed when I quit drinking. He asked me like 5 times, "You really quit drinking?" I was like, "Yes, you're trying to kill me." And you know what? I don't. I'm not one of those weird born again people because recently, somebody that I knew through an anonymous group, they were trying to get in touch with me, but they're still part of that cult. And like, if that helps you do your thing, that's cool. But if you're still doing it 25 years later, I will give you a sewing machine. You need a new hobby. I will give you. You know what? I know I say a lot of crazy things online, but if you are somebody who needs a new hobby and you want to stop going to meetings and get a life, I'll get you a sewing machine. I'll introduce you to all different kinds of weird people. More than the weirdos that you're going to meet at the meeting that are going to try to ruin your life.
Right? And sewing is so expensive that you'll be too broke.
Are you kidding me? Amish shine would kill me. Would kill me. Oh, Kilroy, you totally reminded me of somebody was recently trying to make fun of me online, and they were like, "Godless sewing, you make your own clothes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I make my own clothes." And they're like, "So you're basically Amish?" I was like, "Yeah." I took that as a compliment. They were trying to insult me, but I was like, "No." I took that as a compliment. Like, yeah, I'm self-sufficient. Yes. I will survive an apocalypse. Yes. It'll be me, the Amish, and all the Mormons with bunkers. But they were trying to insult me, and I kind of took it as a compliment. Like, you want to call me Amish? Hey,
Amish.
I just like saying Amish.
Fair. They sell their waist and the head and tails for cleaning and working it within the shop. Oh, the bursting last straws of the distillate. Sorry. I do know what all these words mean. It's just I had to review the context of it. The hearts you drink, yes. Because what is it? You got the angel pour and the devil's pour, and you're not supposed to. That's not for the drinky.
Oh, now I just have rye whiskey stuck in my head. I went to Tennessee and bought a Cotton Sutton poster. And I'll never forget, I walked in, the guy was like, "You must be from the West Coast," because I was the first person to look like me that ever walked into a shop, I think.
Sorry if I look distracted. My human is walking around doing funny things, and I just saw. Well, I'm gonna low-key. Okay, cats are doing funny things, and I just saw the bottle of Black Widow Killer. So I'm super distracted right now. Sorry,
Are
folks.
you do you have arachnophobia?
No, I just preferred not to have Black Widows where my butt sits.
I have this really weird, because of my job, I have this really weird coexist thing about, like, I'm going to take a picture of it next time. I saw a Black Widow the size of my thumb yesterday. But because it was on the far... Because, well, the season just started, if you think about it.
Right.
If you really think about it. Like, because I bring tarantulas home from my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I, so I have unleashed tarantulas into my neighborhood. Oh, and now it's rattlesnake season. And I'm the crazy person who gets paid to remove rattlesnakes from properties.
That's when you need your codpiece parts.
And my price has gone up because of inflation, and I already have people being like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna call you," and I'm like, "Hey, okay," but it's different because I live in a land of yuppies. Like, if
if gas is increased, inflation is real.
That's true, and I actually have to, like, dispose of them somewhere.
Right.
I'm a no kill. Unless it's really trying to attack me, I don't kill rattlesnakes. People, they tell me, they're like, "Kill the rattlesnake." I say, "Okay," and I put it in a sack and I take it out somewhere and I talk to it and I'm like, "You are lucky."
They've got a purpose. I mean, if you don't walk around with them, they'll leave you alone. They generally let you know you're too close.
Most snakes in general. I was digging a post. I didn't even realize that I literally came this close to a gopher snake. That thing, I had my hand in the hole and everything. It just ignored me.
Yeah.
I wasn't hurting it. It was like, "Oh, this human is oblivious." Oh, I'll never forget. I remember I looked down and I'm like, I have been digging a hole with a giant snake right there, and it did not even move.
Well, at least it's not a poisonous kind. I try to stay away from things that might kill me.
Yeah, I agree. Scorpions. Oh, I can't wait until this time of year. I have a phobia of snakes. It's a mental thing. I'll tell you, because I get more, like, I tell people, when they follow me, when they're like, they'll tell me where the snake is. I'm like, okay, I'll go get it because you're gonna react, and then the
You're
snake's
gonna
gonna
scare
react.
it.
Yeah, and it's gonna bite me.
Yeah. And you've
'Cause
just
I'm
quadrupled your pay. Your billings have just quadrupled. And I will send you my medical bills. Thanks. Oh, the
The
bunny
bunny
that
that
lives
lives
on
on
my like it acts like that. Just stays still. I almost touch it. Oh, little bunny.
I thought bunnies were the most beautiful thing on earth until I got bit by one. As a child, and so now I see bunnies as these murderous things with these giant freaking teeth.
Right. This is the skit from Monty Python.
Scared that. Oh man. But again, I was bit under 10, so I'm like, I hate these things for life. I still watch those stupid videos on Twitter of like rabbits eating carrots, wombats eating peaches and stuff,
Oh, speaking of Twitter, what's the up or down on the new CEO who used to have ties with the World Economic Forum? Good choice or bad choice?
I want to see what the effect is, because really, what happened when Elon Musk took over, he did justice for him and his friends. But what happened is okay, we had too much equality on Twitter. I will agree. But the problem is that I don't know, he made Twitter suck. Twitter was fun, and now I barely go on it. Like, I do it because most YouTubers have a Twitter. That's the only reason I keep my Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I know, because how would we send everybody DMs for the links to the show? That's what we use it for.
And everybody has Facebook in their real name. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. And I made the mistake of befriending someone on Facebook, and a lot of drama has come from that because people I didn't necessarily want to know now know my real name, because they're friends with this person. And I'm not a computer detective. I don't care. I literally sit at home and watch old television shows. And so crazy Francisco patterns into my withering, my pants that are withering away. I think Twitter always sucked.
Oh, a video about a snake getting attacked by a vicious bunny. The projects are coming along slowly but surely. I think Twitter always sucked. Fair. I didn't get on it until October. And mostly I just wanted to see if Christopher Boozy would block me, and I can't get blocked by him. But he did have a small win in court because they dropped his case against the Jason Goodman C. Boozy case. But I'm curious to see how the Nathaniel Brody, Nate the lawyer, how that case has not been dismissed. I want it to go to discovery so we can hear out about how spoutable the 89 Russian knockoff version of Twitter is going. Twitter was always garbage, but Elon fired the garbage trucks. They let out a lot of information that was super interesting. Was never super into Twitter. Yeah, I don't know why I signed up.
Twitter is like a cursy Facebook. It's like an angry. Everybody has fake names on it. It is literally that land in Pinocchio where all the kids are smoking cigars and turned into donkeys.
The Island of Oh no! Why do I'm thinking of Christmas movies? The Island of Misfit Toys. Wow, that is the Lost Boys. That's where we're going.
Oh,
you have soda in a cute glass bottle, or are you just trying not to show brands?
No, I have soda in this awesome bottle. I've had this bottle. This bottle is probably older than me. It's been in my life my entire life. And then when the older people passed away, they could no longer tell me that I couldn't do stupid things like put soda in it.
Okay.
And so during the summer, I have all kinds of crazy fancy bottles, but I need something with a lid because I sew in here and I'm a mess. And
Yeah.
I will knock this over today.
Safety.
It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So I have
Here.
and if anybody, let's see if it leaks. If anybody can tell me what language that is, it's probably French.
I'm gonna go with here. We will wait for our Canadian to come back because
I have quite a few bottles, and you know what's so funny? My lazy R's can go to a search engine and just type it in. I've literally had access to these to me my whole life. Don't know what they say. That is such an American thing. As long as it works, I don't care what it says. Ooh.
Okay. I don't even know what this is. This is Indian food, but I feel weird eating on camera, so I'm gonna have to save this. But here, my non-sponsored product that maybe the corner store will sponsor me. They have Japanese, what are these, Skittles lollipops. We have, I think this one is lemon, and I have a melon one. They look so cute. French.
I knew you would know, Alibaba.
Exactly. Oh, and they said I have a milk bottle. Oh, okay. So is this a milk?
Oh, it's the fanciest milk bottle I've ever. Says it was founded in 1895. Not the bottle. If I was drinking out of a bottle from 1890, I wish I was that rich. I wish I was that rich.
Oh, good. Okay, I guess we had the first Black Widow of the year right outside the door. It got sprayed and stomped.
That time of year.
It is. Yup. Yeah, because then they just creep out where you're not looking. I take them Black Widows as a sign of like not being clean, but when they're in your doorway, now you're just intruding on my space because that's not unintended property.
Is that where you draw? Is that like your Gandalf? Like the line is drawn here.
Yes, there's a hard line in the sand at my doorsteps. The creepiest time, there was one in the laundry room, and usually they're down low by the ground, but this one was like came from the ceiling, and I looked up and I was like, no, they haven't had any dinner yet.
Do you know what's funny, Alibaba? Like, there was a bunch of stuff I was told like my whole life. Don't touch this or don't do that. The second the old people disappeared, I grabbed all of it. This bottle was a part of it. I never knew why it was considered fancy. It was just Art Deco, and I'm like, no. If the cap works, I'm using it.
Right, and you can still get another washer for it if the rubber bites the dust.
And I wash it all the time. It's in my. I have a black tub where I soak stuff. Like,
Right.
It's reusable.
Yes, and they're cute. I just like the way those ones look. I have a blue one like that.
When it gets really hot, I get super lazy and I drink. I have a glass pitcher, like a beer pitcher.
So you just
Oh yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it.
you just need get a metal curly Q straw to put in it so you don't spill it on yourself. You need a fancy straw.
I do. You know what's funny? I do have a metal straw. Crazy. Well, all the metal straw craze started when California was going to outlaw straws. People lost their brains. We were going to outlaw the plastic.
Right. But those stupid paper ones that like fall apart in your mouth are gross. So you just bring your own reusable straw, a metal one.
Someone got smart.
Freak me out are the glass ones. Why do we use glass straw?
I feel like I'm going to break those. No, glass straws, like the metal one, I have a few. They're like semi-indestructible. And I have interchangeable plastic tips for them and everything.
Right.
But somebody made a lot of money here when they almost outlawed it. Guess what? They're not illegal. I bought some recently. I have plastic straws in my house.
Just right.
What do you think? Like, that has to be filed under the over legislated. Like we're over legislated here. Don't tell me
Yeah.
what I can and cannot drink. I think it's bullshit. I'm gonna say this, and I know I might get canceled. I think it's weird that you have to be 21 and over to smoke cigarettes. If you can go
It's
to a
18.
war in California, it's 21 and over.
That is, yeah, if you can sign up to do the civil duty that nobody wants to do, you can. And it's funny because don't they? If you've got an ID on base, you can drink at 18.
Yeah, I'm sure you can buy smokes too, but
Right?
but like here, do you know what's so funny? I would never buy a kid beer, but if a 20-year-old walked up to me and was like, "Hey, man, I need a pack of smokes," I'd be like, "Bro, I'll buy them for you," because I think it's the
You can
dumbest
save your
thing.
$20.
Yeah. I can charge this kid and pay it at the end of the month when I get paid. Here, I can afford this, kid.
I still smoke. You want me one? I'll buy the pack, and you just give me one.
Cigarettes are nationwide since 2017. 21. I didn't know that. I thought it was just the state of California.
I thought in Oregon it was still 18.
Keep in mind, I lived in Oregon when you could still smoke inside. This was 20-something years ago. Like, you could smoke anywhere. I miss Dottie's. I miss Dottie's so much.
Oh, yeah, back in the good old days.
Yeah.
I just, well, how, like, if you buy your own health insurance, they ask if you use tobacco, but they don't ask, like, are you morbidly obese? Do you have a gym membership? Like, why?
Oh,
I
excuse
don't
me.
get it.
I have been dropped from
You were,
multiple health insurance for smoking and having asthma. They're like, I have been told I'm uninsurable to my face. And the funny thing is, it wasn't until Obama came around and forced people to give people like me health insurance.
right.
Whoa. Wow, on base when I was a kid, I served beer at 6 years old. I knocked the whole tank outfit. I knocked the whole tank outfit from the top of the brass down to the other kids helping.
The 70s were fun. Thanks. That does sound like a good old time.
I like the taste of Michelob because my dad would let me start his beers in the 80s. I was a little. He thought he was showing off in front of his friends. But what he was doing was making me an alcoholic.
He just gave you the frothy sip that hardly had, that was like, here, take the head off my beer so I could just get to the good part.
Well, I legitimately liked the taste of beer. Like a lot of people don't like. I like the taste of beer, and so when I quit drinking, that was a problem because it wasn't like I wasn't doing it just to numb the pain. Like I genuinely liked the taste, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because I started young.
Right. Well, beer doesn't taste bad. I mean, crappy beers taste bad, but good beer, like a good IPA or a pale ale this is borderline not good beer, but an old-fashioned Genesee cream ale.
Okay, I got really sick one time off a white ale. So it traumatized me. So whenever I think of any OD or white ale, I'm like, nope, no. I got really drunk off a white ale and then went to a Chinese all-you-could-eat buffet. I learned a lesson that day.
Right. The base commander's wife knew there was a problem when the guy started falling over drunk in her front yard. Oh God, right? Yeah, she's like, everybody to the drunk bunk now.
Is it weird? I'm going to ask a question. Is it weird that I think it's weird that kids don't smoke? When I was younger, everyone smoked cigarettes. And the generations after me, no one smokes cigarettes anymore.
No, it's so taboo. It's like people around town like are lighting up smoking doobies all the time. But everybody like gives you the stink eye if you are going to have a tobacco.
I just find it weird because like my ex-wife is a smoker, She's a heavy. Oh my gosh. I told you I'm trying to get her back with her husband.
Yep.
She came
Yeah.
over the other day. And she's like, I'm tired. I was like, okay. And she went in my bed and passed out. I was like, ma'am, you do not live here anymore. And she was in there for a good 7 hours. She works overnights. Like we work in the same. Like she works with the actual clients. You know.
Yeah.
I put in handrails. I'm the king of like handicap concrete. I am no joke when it comes to like making rails properly. Anything that has to do with construction, as far as people with special needs, I'm that, you know. But she does overnights with clients and stuff. So I got that she was tired, and I live right next to the freeway. I get it.
Right, but you didn't think weren't expecting her to be 7 hours tired.
Isaiah and I left. We went and got food. We went and sat down at a restaurant and came back. He was on his Oculus. I was like cleaning my house and everything. Like she was out. I'm like in my head. I'm like, oh no, she needs to get back with her husband. She needs to get back with her.
Yeah, maybe it's time for them to do some couples therapy. But usually, if you're already at the point of a divorce, you're kind of that ship has sailed.
Well, I called today, and Isaiah was over there. So I just hope everything. I hope they work. Do you know I'm probably the only ex-husband on earth who's like, I hope they get back together, because I'm like her default dude. Because then she's like, I need you to open this jar. I need you to change my tire. I need you to like register this car. No, man, we went to court.
We have another 5 years where we have to intermingle, but it was a kid.
We're friends. Yeah. I'm being a bit of a deek, but like, you know, we're adults. We're just adults about it, you know.
Yeah. But it's nicer, easier on the kids when all the parties are not farcefuls.
Oh yeah. We party to get, well, we don't, not as much as we used to. COVID killed partying, like a lot of partying. But the funny thing is, Marquette and I would always smoke J's, and we'd be like, oh, I guess you're in my circle. We would always say that, like, I hope you don't have COVID.
What is that bottle of swamp water?
Ew.
Okay. Okay, I might regret this.
What knows?
Is that green drink, or is that like?
This is some refreshing Indian beverage with cilantro and water. It just tastes like cilantro water.
Yeah.
No, but there's a hint of fennel.
Yeah.
Something. Okay, swamp water, not the worst thing I've put in my face.
And you did it live too. That's an actual reaction.
That is true, right? I won't eat on camera, but I'll drink stuff because I get thirsty. Yay, you're back, Butterfly. She was totally cool with switching it out. Oh my god, that's so great. You also had a nice Mother's Day dinner. Well, good. I'm glad that your Mother's Day was saved and that your customer was amenable to getting an upgrade that they didn't know that they wanted or needed.
I hung out with my parental unit yesterday and today.
Yeah, I texted and called mine.
I vote no on that drink. You totally have me wondering. Okay. I'm going to Google that later. I'm going to Google, because I can probably make it right now with whatever in my house. I eat very ethnic.
Fair. I get it. I know some people have the gene where cilantro tastes like soap, so I don't hold that against anybody, or the folks who can't eat asparagus because their pee tastes like soap, or their pee tastes super weird.
Okay, first off, who's tasting pee? I eat a lot of asparagus. If you're smelling
pee, smells funny. Oh, yeah. It doesn't taste funny.
It smells awful.
Yeah, if you don't have the gene to break that one, those.
I'm addicted to. I eat a lot of artichokes and asparagus. I think I just like ranch dressing, and I eat it with everything.
It's blue cheese or bust, but I guess we can still be friends.
I still eat blue cheese. It's just I ate a lot as a kid, and
Yeah.
I'm a stereotypical Californian. I found it weird when people were like, when I went to the East Coast, people were like, we don't even have ranch.
No,
There
they
was-
do. It's just the traders who try to get chicken fingers or chicken wings and dip them in ranch instead of blue cheese. I'm like, you're not really a New Yorker. I don't know if we can be friends.
That is quite honestly, if you put people in a room, that's how you can tell an East Coaster from a West Coaster. Born. Because a born West Coaster is going to be like, may I please get some ranch? And someone from the East Coast is going to be like, may I please get some blue cheese?
Yeah, except I did know somebody who grew up in the western part of New York State who did prefer ranch, and I would just shake my head every time, but to each their own.
So in the store, there's a ranch that you can make from scratch. It's the Hidden Valley. It is the greatest stuff on earth. I make it. I am addicted to the stuff. It's just restaurant quality ranch. That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's not horrible, but I just get low-fat mayo, low-fat sour cream, and blue cheese crumbles, and I have blue cheese dressing.
Now I'm craving the blue cheeseburger from Red Robin. So, do you guys have Red Robins where you live? I am so curious. I am so curious now because social engineering is real. So in America, most towns kind of have the same stuff.
Yeah, no, we don't. There's a Cracker Barrel and a Five Guys, which I still haven't been to.
It's just a really expensive sub place.
Right, I know, and I can get better burgers with better meat.
Yeah. I'm starting to get in. I feel like this is like election day. We're starting to get results in.
I know. Now we've turned into the food part of the stream where everybody's getting ready for dinner or just ate, and I'm like, oh God, what am I going to eat?
Oh God, my brother traumatized me. I'm gonna eat a salad and go get on the exercise bike.
Yeah, good. There's nothing wrong with that.
I do have a bunch of lettuce. I am obsessed with Red Robin. I love it. It's because they have a wide array of burgers. And every time I go, I order a different one.
Right, because they've got like 30. I think I only ate it once or twice up in Seattle, but there's none down in my neck of the woods.
Do you know, Butterfly, I am so indoctrinated. Now that I read your comment, I have the commercial in my head now.
I was like, Red Robin. Stupid.
See, I say this all the time because Isaiah will look at me and he's like, oh, you should buy blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, advertising works. You're only telling me I should buy this because you saw it on the internet. It's the only reason you're telling me this, you know? Because if we were just walking down the street, he wouldn't know the difference between Tide and the house brand. But because Tide said they're better than the house brand, he wants the Tide, you know?
Right, and it's made in the same factory with just different labels, so just get the cheap stuff. It's fine.
I'm a weird person who keeps receipts. Let me see if I can find a food receipt for California. You will jump when you see how much money we pay for food here.
You said, what is it? You had like a $30 meal for two at McDonald's or whatever the other week.
Jack in the Box stuck me for $32 because I was hungry, and Isaiah's stuff alone was $20, and he basically like. And here's the scary thing, okay?
You bought the salad.
They got rid of their side salad.
Jesus.
Wendy's did too. They're like, we're not even trying to make you healthy.
Well, the salads had more calories than some of the burgers did. So,
especially Carl's Jr., it's the junk they put in it. When I go to the Greasy Spoon, I don't flinch because it's quality. So, when I go out with my mother and my son, we go shopping every week. I pay for the groceries and the Greasy Spoon. Let's be real. She gave me a job and brought me into this earth. I can afford it. She gave me a good job.
She signs your paycheck. You're like, okay, thanks, Mom. Here, let me return the
Oh,
paper.
people walk up to me. They're like, "Oh, you buy your mother's groceries." They like, they think I'm a saint. On
Like, no, she's
average.
inadvertently paying this.
Well, she gave me a decent job where I can afford to to pay for everything. My whole point is, on average, 3 of us with drinks included is about $52. And that's 3 meals, and everything is $9 to $10. And I didn't realize this until one day I forgot to get a drink, and I said, "Oh, okay, just tack it on. I got cash. How much is it?" A large drink was $5.55.
Oh, that's what you just get
Because
water.
I always wondered why when I get drinks it's so much more, because the damn drinks are
Yeah.
$10 for the drinks. So Butterfly, you totally reminded me. Life's expensive here. It's unreal. Let's see. I have all my sewing machine receipts for the day. For day anyone walks in here, I'm like, I am legitimate. Look, I went to the Goodwill. This one's from the Salvation Army. Okay. So I was having a hankering the other day. Oh, this is okay. This is so funny. So I got the same meal. Let me see if I can find yesterday's receipt. Oh, that's so I went to Burger King in what's considered the crappy part of Los Angeles. It was $13. I got the same meal in the Burger King up the street from my house. It was $17 because I live in the suburbs. Burger King is crazy.
Is I'm with you, Butterfly. No, everyone gets water unless it's Sunday morning and then we can have coffee and a Bloody Mary to share. But other than that, it's water for you.
Fountain drinks, though. See, I'm not even pro soda unless it comes out of a fountain.
Yeah.
Fountain drinks are just unreal. And it brings me back to the thrifty days with their quarter ice creams and actual soda fountains. I'm not like
and
the
a soda
19...
jerk.
Oh, the thrifties that by my house, they it was the best. It was just the best. If I pay $13 for Burger King, just
I agree.
I'll tell you what it is. I go to work and then I leave my work. Instead of going home, I go into the valley looking for sewing machines. I go to the dispensary and I go and buy fabric, and I don't eat food. And I start getting hypoglycemic. Like for real. I feel my blood sugar getting low. And so I go to the nearest place. I do. I go to the nearest place. It's not a good thing. I'm one of those people, I literally forget to eat because I'm so ADD distracted.
Why don't you just have a box of protein bars in your vehicle so you can just eat something?
Did Isaiah
Have a
email
snack
you?
pack.
Did Isaiah email you? This is the same speech I have with my son when he's like, he'll look at me and he's like, "You're getting easily offended. You need to eat some food." And I'm like,
This is like the Snickers commercial.
Oh. See, but here's the thing. Like where I live, I take for granted that everything is expensive. My fabric habit is like $75 to $80 a pop, even when it's on sale, because I always get more because I'm crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to shop my stash because I have enough silk. I could make a blue, a gold, a silver, and a pink silk collection for every season for the next 5 years, probably, and still have some on the rolls.
That's
Not
why
that I'm flexing my silk because it was gifted to me, and I could never have afforded it.
I agree with you. I pulled all this out to shame myself. Really, I put it on the table because I was like, I cannot buy any more fabric. So I like had to show myself that I literally have like 2 or 3 parachutes in here.
Oh, $13 for a box of donut holes. That's too much. Oh, Timmy Ho's coffee.
Oh my gosh, if you saw the price at my donut shop, you guys would cry. Like ham and cheese croissants used to be $1. They're $4 to $5 now.
God, stupid inflation.
And they're still huge. They're not tiny, but they were $1 because it's ham and cheese on a croissant, you know.
Mhm.
And the price is gone. But again, where I live, everything is a little bit more expensive because I live in the suburbs, and they feel like
Yeah.
they can charge you.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair? Let's have a conversation. Because I live in a place where people afford it, they charge us more.
I think that's mixed. But then it also makes me mad, like folks who live in the cities who don't even have like a grocery store, so they're stuck eating fast food or at the 7-Eleven, whatever
Oh, that's
crap that
real.
they have, that they don't have access to like a farm stand or whatever.
People come to the Walmart by my house from the valley because they don't have a grocery store in their town. And
Yeah,
this is
that's
the
not
closest
right.
one off the freeway. Oh yeah. Like it's weird. I think it's weird. They don't even have a grocery store on the mountain up by my house. There's like thousands and thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people there's a thriving mountain community up there. They have outlets, they have shops, they have a giant park. They don't have a grocery store. They have to drive 35 miles down the mountain because they're literally in the middle of a mountain to come to my town, you know.
Oh, well, no, I get that because I have folks who drive up over the border from their mountain dwellings, and then it's like an hour because just to go to Costco, which is 20 miles, 25 miles from where I am, and they drove at least that much getting down the mountain and crossing the border.
That's crazy. I I don't know. I do a lot of driving, so I guess that's not crazy because I drive into the city and you couldn't walk there from my house. It's not close.
Mm-hmm.
I go there so much people think I live there.
Right, that is true. Business schools always charge what the consumers can bear.
I'm addicted to ham and cheese croissants, Alibaba, and I still pay the price. And they're the only place open at 4 o'clock in the morning. Let's be real. Where I can walk
And the croissants are
inside.
probably fresh out of the oven because the baker has been up since 11 o'clock baking them.
I say this all the time. At 4 o'clock in the morning, all donuts taste like Krispy Kreme because they're fresh.
That's the same with the good New York Jewish bakery bagel places.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
I had a
don't usually eat.
I had a Noah's habit for a while until it closed down by my house.
I know we used to go to Brugger's Bagels,
Oh,
but I don't think that made it out here.
now I'm. We still have a Western bagel in my town. For anyone who knows what that is, it's I don't know how long they've been around, but in my hometown, we still have a Western bagel, and I think it's the craziest thing because it's been there longer than I've been alive, in the same place.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, hopefully they can outlast all of us because
And weirdly, there's a newsstand there too, and they're still there. And every time I walk in, I'm like, "Who buys magazines?" And the guy's like, "You." I do. I got my son into magazines too. It's tactile. You learn to read. You know, I think there's nothing wrong with getting kids into reading. You know.
I know we started off with highlights.
Damn right. Damn, God, we are the same age. I was addicted. That was my first bathroom reading. I was addicted to highlights. I was addicted. Because my parents were hoarders. I have every book I ever ordered through the Scholastic.
The book clubs. Yep.
And where is Enchanted Unicorns is hidden in there, but it still has stickers. I put them on. I'm only down to like 20, so I'm not as liberal with the stickers as I used to be, but like it made me laugh. And I had really supportive parents because they let me order it and didn't say a word. My parents were like harsh. They didn't say a word. Probably because I ordered it with like a Spider-Man book, a Transformer book, and like they didn't see, but parents didn't freak out back then. It was a different time. I was raised by adults.
Yeah.
I still get Scientific American magazine Butterfly. I love magazines. It's what it makes me feel like I'm up on modern scientific terms, you know.
Oh, well, that was another thing that came out of the Dark Horse podcast yesterday was they were reviewing an article that is in pre-publication in Nature News. That was a whole bunch of stupid nonsense, and it was written by an immunologist who works for Fred Hutch up in Seattle. So that's a giant cancer research and treatment facility up north, for if you don't know. And I was gonna, yes, Allie, you're correct. Your ears of steel. She does need some oiling.
No, I'm laughing.
You hear the clunk.
I'm laughing because Alibaba is like my car. My car is telling me like you need to change the oil.
Let me
I got in the car
this.
today. My car. Oh, that's
I'll
so
get
funny.
to the end of this row, and I will. My oil bottle is right here. I'll give her some love because I've just been called out live on air.
Alibaba's a professional. That's why. Alibaba,
They are.
You know what you're talking about.
I know. I've been hearing this clunk for a little while, and I'm like, oh, I know. It's been a month. We need some more.
That's the problem. It's so funny you would say that. Like, all right, I'm gonna turn this thing on, and the whole reason, and it's now throwing a perfect stitch, but my Husqvarna Viking has a clank now. It has a clack. But keep in mind,
we've got the professional ears here. We'll get
all right. I'm gonna plug her in. See, I said I'm just gonna plug her in. Gender everything. I am that guy I'm talking about.
I know. I need.
Okay.
She's Brunhild.
Do you hear that?
I do.
It's like a da, 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 da. It was just that it had that seamless sound. Now it has a da, 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 a clack, but it's still throwing down a perfect stitch. It wasn't for a while. I completely took it apart. I put everything back, but it still has a clunk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's driving me crazy because this is the one machine I won't let just fade away.
Just not going to go silently into the night. I hear the head cam that lifts the thread take up lever. So that's over here. So I don't think this. Okay, let me get to the end. I'll get the oil can, and then we can walk through which holes I need to oil.
It just sounds unhealthy. And it's not as perfect as it used to be. You can see it through a couple stitches. See?
Oh, yeah.
Something happened to my husky.
Is that on the bottom side or the top? Is it with your upper thread tension?
It looks perfect on the upper, but just to get it to this point, it was hard work just to get it to this point because it was not throwing. It was catching it so much underneath, it was seizing the machine. Something happened with my husky, and it makes me want to cry. But let's be real. I've been using this machine every day since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna break down.
Right.
The sound is coming from could be just a slight bit off of two. I think the same thing. I can adjust the timing in my sleep. I hope it is. It does sound like a timing issue. I hope it is. You know what's so funny? If this was a 1940s machine, I would have that thing apart in 30 seconds and know what the problem is. With these more modern machines, it's much more troubleshooting. The shuttle might be out of time.
Right.
Poor guy. You're not allowed to die, machine. You are not allowed to die. I am not giving
you up, baby.
And the baby lock is performing like so well. I feel bad because it's not that I don't need this, but like I need a sewing machine that can perform.
You got one
have
job.
You can't be I'm gonna not be graphic. You have to work around here. I'm talking about this is my Husqvarna Viking. And I've said it a million times. This is the only machine that I've ever went to the retailer and purchased it from. And so it makes me sad because I've used this almost every day since the day I bought it. But sewing machine burnout is real. You know?
Yeah, it happens.
I killed my brother VX809 making capes, doing leather work.
Okay.
Right.
We have 1 bottle of oil. So do I need, okay. There's a hole here and a hole here. I know those ones are oil, and then I'm going to do 1 drop in each of these 2, and then 1 over here in the handle. Let's start at the back end. Okay.
I mean, it isn't dying. It's just a bit sick. You're right. I am extremely cynical.
And melodramatic.
You know why? I'll tell you. If something doesn't work, I replace it immediately. I have no tolerance for equipment that doesn't work. But that's a machine shop mentality where I would rather get paid than cry over a piece of equipment, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's this butterflies bringing up controversy. That lady in that group, she hated me. She literally said it was blasphemous. I didn't know I was part of the sewing machine religion.
I didn't know there was the cult of sewing machines.
Oh. Both of those in the head and the back. There's a hole to get to. I'm taking notes because I damn near have the same machine.
Okay, I did the 1 at the back. Did the 2 on the top. 2 in the here. Oh, is there 1 on the front here? Here, a hole.
Let me see if my camera can.
Oh, do I need to get this hole over here too?
I have a white that was put in the wrong table.
Okay.
I might use that as my treadle machine. Let me see if I can.
Stickers kill sewing machine film at 11.
Oh, that they hated
the Amish
me.
Quilt Mafia is out for bad stitches.
Every other sewing machine group I'm in, they're like, dude, where have you been my entire life? Because I show up with pictures. I'm like, oh no. And they're like, where is this? I said, oh, it's in my house. And they're like, oh. But this one particular group was like, no, sir, we do not put stickers here.
Okay, let me.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah, I was going to adjust my camera. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that feature. I think it's weird when it reverberates like that because it shows how insanely close I am to the microphone.
Press your feet. So, oh, I can't. This hole right here. Just above the presser foot lever.
Oh,
okay.
It worked.
Here's the presser foot.
Oh,
there's the lever just above. I don't see a hole. Are you on the back side? Oh! You mean this hole right here that I didn't see because it was on the wrong side of me? Okay. Think. Well, now I think I know.
Hoarder. I am such a hoarder. I'm trying to show a sewing machine, but there's so much crud around it, you can't even see the sewing machine.
Okay. So it must have been this one. Okay. Thank you, Alibaba. I think we've done all the ones. Awesome. I know. Maybe afterwards I'll get under the hood and we'll oil the stuff under the belly, but thank you all so much for helping with my increasing my knowledge of how to care for this beauty.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay, so that's camera. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's gonna let me switch it out. What is this one? I have 6 microphones hooked up to this camera. I mean, to this computer. Oh, this room is an electrical hazard. Okay, that's an Audio Technica.
Warm, hot. You got it. Thank you. I know this is like a bad game of hot and cold. Sewing machine edition. Hot and cold.
Oh, no, that's not it. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can?
I was going to give you a thumbs up, but you can't see. Or there. Now I can't. What'd you do? Now you're muted. The wrong mic is talking. Now give it a few turns. Yeah, oh, there we go. There's still that tiny bit of squeak on the wheel, but...
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll try that. I'll try that some other time. It's different in the thing that you use is different than... Oh, get out of here, Bumblebee. It's different than the one that I use on StreamYards. StreamYards, right. It showed me every camera in this room, and I'm like, but I have a bunch of wireless. It gets confusing. Yeah. I have a lot of technology in this room.
What? Turn up your hearing aid. I can't hear you.
Bumblebees and yellow jackets and all kinds of wasps try to come in my garage to live in here.
Yeah,
but they
just want to keep you company.
For as much as I smoke, they would not survive in here. You kidding me?
You're smoking loud.
I purposely exiled myself to the garage.
Well, didn't California, the state, exiled you there? Would you have chosen that spot willingly?
It's literally illegal to smoke in my house. It is illegal. I'm forgetting all the oil points on the
white ready. Well, I'm glad that I could help you remember and you could learn me where everything was. I know there's a couple under the hood, but I'm not. Since I should have started with the bottom, and since I started with the top, I'm gonna not do those ones right now.
That reminds me. I found this the other day, and it reminded me of this group.
Oh, beautiful!
This room is nothing. I am a singer museum. These are cams. I don't want to tip the thing because these are made out of real metal. Back when we actually made things that worked. But it's funny because these boxes are worth more than they were originally. Like, people will pay for these boxes, you know?
Right, because you can't. It's hard to get them. I'm surprised the plastic hasn't like disintegrated.
I feel like because I'm connected to an older world, when I get things, I get them from the original owner, or like they're the second or third owner.
Yeah.
Especially because
I'm gonna be right back. I need to wash I got lubricant all over my fingers, so I need to take a quick wash.
Thank you. I have quite a few other stuff, but like I have a Singer rollaway right here, but I put the white rotary in front of it, all kinds of stuff. But I have a ton of Singer accessories. I have a weird collection of Singer instruction manuals. If I find a book without the sewing machine, I'll collect it. I do not care. I love Singer memorabilia. I'm a geek. In that sense. I'm trying to think. I even have the original paper boxes from my Singer 301A. That was the first machine that I bought where it came with all the original parts, and it showed me what a collection should look like. Like as a sewing machine collector, my 301A, I have all original parts for it, and you really can't say that with a lot of sewing machines. There are certain sewing machines where you're like, oh, somebody has a 3-inch pipe on their motorcycle. There are certain sewing machines where I'm just lucky to get the actual sewing machine. Like my Futura, when I bought it, I knew that it was just the machine, but I knew that I had all the parts for it. I have the theme song to No Job for a Lady with Penelope Keith stuck in my head. I am so jealous of your instructions manuals back to the 1866. You know what? Now you're gonna have me look, because my 301A is all original paperwork, but I want to see if I have anything older than that. I might. I have a weird collection of like early 1900 stuff, but I don't know if I have anything pre Alibaba. What year were the fiddle-based sewing machines popular? Like if I was to find a fiddle-based sewing machine, what year would that be from? I'm obsessed with my 301A butterfly. I absolutely it throws down the most solid stitch in this room next to my Singer 404. But those machines were made to be solid. I saw 2 cording feet in the 301 yesterday. Still in the plastic. That's crazy.
I know. I have to go back and find your Flickr again. I loved scrolling through it, and then
And coincidentally, having stickers on my 301A is what got me kicked out of that group. Because my 404, I will never add stickers on that, but my 301A, I'm keeping that. When they they're gonna bury me like the Pharaoh. My list is growing.
I know that's true, Kilroy, that the paper is sometimes that it's still around.
Do you know what? That's a really good question, Butterfly, because the 301 was sold as the first portable sewing machine, I think. I'm trying to remember all this stuff. I wrote notes. I was such a professional YouTuber a year and a half ago when I was making these videos. Now I'm just like talking about the story and less about the technical things behind it. Where is...
Well, it's probably good to do a little bit of both, just to mix, in case if you get bored, to like mix it up so that.
I love the stories behind it. Like when I found out about Morse sewing machines, I sat here for 2 days. I geeked out. Like it was so interesting to me. Because capitalism is funny. He was rich and lazy, so he would just take his name and put it on sewing machines that weren't even his.
Okay.
So if you have a Morris, you have a sewing machine that was basically a Japanese company that couldn't afford to say no to him. Oh yeah, what's the difference between a Singer 301A and 301?
Well, isn't the A for Andersonville, so where it was, isn't part of it where it was manufactured?
I think you just answered it without even me. You're faster than Google. The A stands for where it was made, South Carolina. Okay, you are literally reminding me of my math teacher that would challenge people with calculators. He's like, I am a calculator. Give me a math problem. And he was always faster than a calculator. You were literally faster than Google.
I'm not as much of a sewing machine historian, but I've learned a few things that every once in a while come in handy.
Ooh, a black 301A. Now, you see, when I see like red Singers and stuff like that, are those specialty made? Are those specialty painted? Because were they manufactured? I can't see them being manufactured in any other color except for black or white. Even the porcelain ones were like what was I gonna say? They were like priceless, you know. Have you seen that ridiculous video that I posted on Rumble? The hour-long
I haven't yet. I that's on my to-do list. It's not. I'm not trying to be a mean friend. I just haven't.
No, it's okay. It's a hard watch because it's heavy symphony. It's the Scottish Symphony. It's from the Museum of Scotland, and it's the entire process of a sewing machine being made in Ciderbank, Scotland. Sue me, please. I can't speak English, even though it's my first language. But it's the entire process from the dirt, literally the dirt, all the way to it being shipped. It's, to a sewing machine geek, it's the most red is new painted. Good to know, because people sell them as like, oh, this is original. Like, no, it's not. No way. There's a good red one, white and green Singer 12. Do you know what's so funny? One day they're going to say, oh, there's a red, green, white one in the Godless Sewing Museum. That crazy guy who procured all these sewing machines. Hey, skits. Clyde's Bank, Kilbowie, Scotland. Hey, skids. Because it's history, it's just so interesting to me. And I have at least 5 sewing machines from there. So the potential of actually watching the sewing machine that I own being made on that from the early 1900s is awesome. Oh, that's so funny. What's my 404 now? I need to know if it's a 404A. I'm gonna crawl on the floor real quick. Excuse me.
We've got him on his hands and knees again. Let's see here. The Dunbartonshire Museum is the Kilbowie plant in Clydesbank. All right. Should we have a field trip? We'll go to the reservation required museum down south, and then we'll just take an international sewing trip. Let's just go to Scotland. We can eat some haggis and have a good old time.
It's a 404. It was made in New Jersey.
Aw, darn it.
I'm down to go to Scotland. I would be that geek. Well, actually, Alibaba knows more than me, but I would be answering questions because, like, if it has to do with Isaac Merritt Singer, I might be able to stumble upon the answer. Oh, that's funny. I'm down, Butterfly, for the road trip. I have in the state of California, I have a license where I can drive a bus. So I can legally be a bus driver. I have to, because of my job, we have to have Class C drivers because we have 35-foot buses that transport people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in order to be able to work on them, I have to be able to drive them. So I have a Class C license, and if anyone ever really takes me up, I'm going to go work for MTA. As a train driver, I don't have the people skills to be a bus driver. I would be in jail. You'd catch me on the news. I don't have the people skills. But the metro drivers, you don't even see them. They're like locked in the train. I'm going to look that up. I want to know if there are any sewing museums in California.
No, Ellie told us one last week that it's a reservation or you got to make an appointment.
Ooh. There's one in San Jose. That's north. Morro Bay. Almost drowned there once. Berkeley almost drowned there too. And I thought I was a professional. Western surfer. Let me finish that sentence. Surfer. When in Southern California, we have 8 to 10 foot waves, which means that if it's 8 to 10 feet in the front, that means it's 8 to 10 feet drop in the back. In San Francisco, they have 30-foot waves with 60-foot drops.
Yeah. Oh, Butterfly, we'd look like a bunch of hippies hauling around our sewing machines. I know, Brunhilde's portable. She's like 30 pounds, but
we would have the time. We would have the time of our lives.
oh, the Victorian sweatshop. Yes. Oh my God, we should just film our own reality show. I guess that's what live streaming is. This is a reality show.
Craft event in the Lancaster. The Western Hotel Museum. Lancaster Art of History presents Sewing Bee at the Western Museum Saturday. Oh, they've already had it.
Aww.
I go to major ones in downtown. They come once a year. It's a quilting show, but they have everything sewing. And
Yeah.
I'm a geek. I like going to like the Juki it's an exhibit. Because you walk in and everything's a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in Japan they don't play, so they come with their real display, and like it's so state of the art. At least last year it was. That's actually within driving distance. Everything else is kind of far, but this one now I got to look up their. Now I got to look up their
hours.
Well, I got to look up their events now. This historic hotel is one of the oldest standing structures in the Antelope Valley. Built around 1888, it still possesses the feel. Well, I gotta finish the article now.
I'd go over on a cargo ship just so we can bring back as much machinery as we want. Yes, we are going to rent a barge and
people always ask me, they're like, why did you keep certain cars? Like, I need a car with lots of space. My Ford Flags, it's a soccer mom car, but man, I could put let's see, I could probably fit 12 sewing machines in the back, just all in rows. I could probably my back seats are huge and they fold down.
So you can fit a table or two.
Oh yeah. I could get an 8-foot surfboard in it and close the back.
Okay.
Surfboards are so expensive that you would not want to leave it out. Like when you go to a restaurant, because if someone steals your $2,000-$3,000 surfboard, you'd be mad.
Yeah.
No, I just if they have sewing like shows there, I would love to go, and that's within a good half-hour driving distance.
That's not too bad.
It's out in the middle of the desert. Literally out in the middle of the desert. Like Lancaster is Walter White territory. That is Breaking Bad territory.
I haven't watched that. I watched most of Better Call Saul, but I haven't. We watched the follow-up for the original.
I quit watching after like the third season. I got back into it when John Delancey was in it, but it really wasn't my like. I can't. Okay, we're about to get deep for a second. No medical, or I don't like watching intervention. I can watch Hoarders because I consider it an intervention.
It is, yeah.
But I don't like watching.
600 Pound Life is also a different type of intervention.
Oh, the guy, like I saw this guy literally crying over ranch dressing. I was like, I need to go run a mile right now.
Oh, you mean Nikocado Avocado?
Well, no, there was this grown man. I used to watch this guy named Lord Bear in my weird, angry satire days of YouTube. His name is Alex too, for some weird reason. He's still around. He's a weird dude. Had a lot going on. People who overshare personal information is weird to me. But he would review my 600-pound life, and he got me watching the show again.
Sorry, Ailey just distracted me. I could get us on a paddle wheel on Lake Constance, Switzerland. No need to bring a machine. The boat is full of them from the museum there. Yes, I will renew my passport. Just get me the dates, and we are off to Switzerland.
I had to get rescued. A friend of mine, we were 10. We had to get rescued on a paddle boat, on one of those with the big wheel, because we had our little 10-year-old weak legs.
Oh, she sounds so much better. Thank you for the oiling tour. I think this one here, I didn't realize that So, and it's been more than a month, so she probably needed a good lube job.
Oh, that's funny. I went on a couple of really cool paddle boats in Arizona, but that's all man-made lakes with no wind.
You actually have to manual drive. I know, I was at Lake Mead a gajillion years ago when there was like water in the lake.
That is one thing I miss about Arizona is they have a ton of man-made lakes and you could like it's strangely beautiful. It's strangely
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, we've got one here. It's just that it's mostly empty.
I wonder about that now though, because my references are getting dated because I went to college years ago,
Back in the dinosaur days.
and they were crying about water then in Arizona, but that was before I lived there in 2000 after September 11th, and so I lived there in the early 2000s, the beginning. I was gone by 2008 when they had their big boom. I wonder how they're doing with water now.
Yeah, probably not. Well, even worse with all these refugees crossing the border.
Havasu is on both sides of yes, it is in Arizona and California. Which one is the one that's Nevada? Oh, he's gonna be so mad that I didn't. Hans is here and I destroyed his room. He's gonna be so mad I didn't finish cleaning. I thought he was gonna come later.
Oops. All right, so we should be prepared for a meltdown and
He's used to coming home to a clean room, but I've been busy. He's gonna be so
I've been busy counting my 60
Yeah.
yards of
Are you bringing me food?
Kind of, not really. It's my meatloaf I made. Me and Isaiah had some, but this will make another sandwich on bread. Do you want it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, here.
Smells good.
I gotta go.
Smells like Melissa's old cooking.
It's on.
I know. Hey, bro, take this.
Love you.
Take that.
Love you too, Mom.
Your room is completely trash.
Hey, me at hands. Yep. All right. Oh, did I have anything else on my list before we talk about the show I've been watching? Oh, well, I don't know if anybody knows. Well, I'm sure somebody does. So Gonzalo Lira is a Chilean American who's been living in Ukraine. Last year, he got arrested by the Ukrainian secret police. They let him go. He had to wipe his Twitter and his YouTube. And somebody was just saying that he got arrested again and nobody's... And right now he's just literally missing. And I haven't heard any updates about him yet in a while because he's got a wife and a kid over there.
People disappear all the time around here, and that's so scary to me. Hey, will you take that and put it on the kitchen table?
Scottsdale recently had to shut off a town that was buying water from them. They had been telling them for years that eventually they'd be shut off, but the town still complained. Yeah, if you've been warned for years that we're sorry, we're gonna run out of water, and you don't make other arrangements, that you're kind of SOL.
Yeah, that's why living in the desert is a scary thing because it's unsustainable. Because even if you have water, you're the people after you won't. So if you're raising a kid when they're my age now, they will have to move.
I know. Why? How does Dubai and Qatar, they've got all these ways to desalinate their ocean water and build these giant mega structures. Why aren't we investing in that kind of technology?
Okay, so let's be real though. With the UAE, they have they pay their citizens. They are so rich. It is unbelievable compared to us. So when they have a social service, they take care of it because they have the money to.
Yeah.
In America, I have to go through 19 people to fix a pothole.
Right.
when I have the stuff in my house to fix a pothole. I am that guy. I'll fix a pothole, mill the street, and just move on with my life. Like, I am that guy.
I know people do disappear in war zones. Yeah, who knows? Because I mean, he's fine, but he used to be in part of like this whole alpha male. They used to call it, or his tag for a while was like Coach Red Pill. So he was
Think about
not
like all the
necessarily like cup of tea,
but just think about all the reporters that have disappeared. What was his name? Pelton, the guy from CNN. I love that guy. And he went to the Philippines and found the wrong people. You know what I'm
right?
saying? Like, oh, even here in LA, um, it's kind of a crazy story of how I found this out. But LA is a kidnap. There's like major kidnappings that go on all the time in LA. I didn't know because I'm not a kidnapper.
Right. I know. Well, I think any place where you're on a major thoroughfare, like anywhere along the 5, you're at risk, or the 80, or the 90.
When I found out that I watch a lot of stuff that's Spanish television, and they were kind of joking. They're like, "Oh, what's the kidnapping capital of Mexico?" They were like San Diego, California. My heart dropped when they said that. I was like, "What?" And then they had countless stories of people of how these guys, they would find rich business people who were Hispanic, and they would target Hispanic people and kidnap the person, take them into Mexico, and extort money from their family.
Ugh.
And they would only do it to rich Hispanic people. And the same thing goes on in any border town in America. It's scary.
Mm.
That's why I dress like a homeless person. Denim. I am the denim warrior. Okay, that reminds me. So should I put a back patch on my new denim dress thing that I bought? My long jacket? That'll be tomorrow's sewing project. Because I'm like, I took my tiger patch off of a vest I had because it was too big and I wasn't gonna wear it.
Well, now you've got the perfect real estate for it. The too big jacket for the too big patch.
And that jacket I am gonna wear. I am gonna wear that in public. I will wear it all the time. I will rock that thing.
It'll be great. Oh, you don't really have winter. I was like, when it's cold, you can layer, but you don't really need to do that.
I've said this before, and people hate me for it. My mom has a beach house, and it gets cold at the beach.
Yeah, it always gets cold at the coast. But...
So it's perfect for even during the summer for a desert dweller. I get cold at the beach.
Yeah, there might be an oil part under the crank cover belt guard.
I do, Kilroy. I look at it as a blank canvas. When I see something, I look at it as a blank canvas. So yeah, I used to go off with my pieces, but now I'm much more of a back patch kind of guy. I used to get really intricate with my sewing, with my back pieces.
Oh, okay. I think I found another hole.
I was thinking that same thing, Alibaba. I have 2 tiger patches. I can't decide which one I want to use. I was like, maybe I should put both, but that would be dumb. That would look dumb.
Okay, I just need to.
And I absolutely love this patch, but he looks like this one rapper. I can't name his name. Oh, what's his name? I'm gonna have to look it up. But I love this stupid patch. These were one of those patches where I ordered it for a couple bucks. I didn't think it was real, and it's real. So you never know. Sometimes Amazon is complete buckus. And then other times it's real. Oh my gosh. What you are doing right now is me in everyday life and everything I do. Because I don't wear my glasses. So I'm with my cell phone with my light. Like.
Oh, sorry if I didn't even realize. I was like trying not to blind the camera. I was like, I found one more hole that I hadn't seen before. And I was like, maybe this is because I'm sitting here and I'm like, I got a squeak, and I thought we got most of them, but I think I might have found everybody except for the ones under the hood. That
I ordered a couple of these on Amazon because the price was so cheap. I didn't think it was real, and they're real.
That is a patch.
These are huge, and I have a giant, big tiger face I'm probably going to use. But I have this weird obsession with tigers.
Well, better that than cougars. I don't know.
It's better than being a lion, huh? Do you know, whenever I see where I live, people wear those shirts that are like lion before sheep. Just tell me you don't have good hygiene. That's just telling me you don't have good hygiene. It's a bro brand. It's a bro brand, like a tough guy brand. This is the one I'm gonna put on there. This is huge as well. I love this stupid patch.
With the fangs out. Oh, so good.
I love this stupid patch. So I'm probably gonna put that on the back of it. And I had this really angry jacket I made that I'm gonna completely redo the jacket because it's a quality jacket and I'm not angry anymore that I was. Like, I'm not as mad as I was a year ago. That's the good thing about sewing certain things. If I don't feel the same way, I can just take it apart or sell it.
Right.
I try to stay away from certain politics though, because it creates fights. Like, I had a shirt. Thank you, Butterfly. I had a shirt where I had a Jesus name tag upside down, and it was like a heart with a hand on the other side. I bet I could go find it. More than 3 people tried to fight me in public because I had a Jesus name tag upside down.
Oh gosh, that's.
And this one Cholo guy literally tried to fight me in the middle of a Goodwill because I had a Jesus patch upside down. But yeah. And I was like, are you serious? And I literally stood there, I was like, are you serious? Like, sometimes I can't tell if people are joking or if they are like faking outrage. But this guy literally, needless to say, he didn't want to fight anyone.
I know anger is such a waste of time and energy. It's not thermodynamically favorable.
It's not. And as someone who I know people who I know at least 2 people have had strokes because they're just habitually angry. It's real. So if you're like all the time, your body will seize out eventually.
Yeah.
You could always said you were the pervy guy from Nobody Fucks with the Jesus. That is the greatest song. Hotel California in Spanish. I bumped that in my car. Shout out to my ex-girlfriend Mackenzie who made me that CD that I still listen to. She made it for me in like 2002. I still listen to it. Oh man. I was thinking about making that suit, but nobody will get the reference, and if I tell them, it's not as funny as when you say it out loud.
No, you just have to. It's okay to have smart people jokes, and if you get it, you get it.
I put Ben Sisko in every single one of my videos, my Star Trek video, in every single video. He was Space Jesus. If you ever watched Deep Space Nine. I'm all about Easter eggs. That's why I'm so mad that YouTube has cracked down on people like me who pilfer old commercials. Like, come on. I'm a tiny YouTube channel. Like, let's stop beating up the small guy YouTube.
Yeah. I don't know. YouTube, they're just, I'm so...
And I'm telling you, it happened overnight, because if you go back and look at my older videos, like they won't let me repost some of the same stuff that I've been posting for over 2 years.
Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense. That's so weird.
I've gotten chest pains from anger before. Anger is no freaking joke. Chill out. And it's true. That's real.
Yeah, which is also why you should sew only when you're happy. Don't be angry sewing, because sewing's not supposed to kill. It's a savior, not a killer.
I make mistakes. When I'm angry, I skip steps. because I'm just
Yeah.
like, rah, rah. Then the anxiety kicks in, and then you just want to go at 100 miles an hour, even though you don't know where you're going.
Exactly. Don't drive your machine faster than you can take the turns.
Yeah. Oh, I've learned that the hard I've learned that the hard way. That's so sad, but true.
Oh, thank you, Alibaba. I think we've, besides the under the hood ones, I think we might have oiled all the holes right now. Wow, that things that you can talk about with sewing machines that's out of context do not make any sense.
It's okay. When I talk about when I teach people how to lube the tractor,
Yeah.
it's almost a challenge of to see like how long someone's not gonna laugh. Because it's when you're lubing a tractor, you have to lube the rods. You have to
Yep.
make sure that
In the piston, in the
I
nuts,
can't
in
even
the
say it.
bolts.
I have to tell them, like, especially the older tractor, the 1979 tractor, man, that thing is on an old principle. Like, everything has to be lubed.
It's okay to be a little bit angry when the puppy tears up a customer's case. That, as long as we don't take it out on the puppy, I think going to the car and having a few words with the universe is fair.
Having a teenager, I've learned to take extremely deep breaths and then go outside and power smoke a J. And then I come back in. Like, my 70-inch TV mysteriously dropped. And I'm not even in that living room. And somebody said they didn't do it. So I had to be like, okay, I believe you, but I don't believe. See, Freud was coming out my mouth because I don't, but I have no proof.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't believe in ghosts or accidents.
We
I had
disagree about the ghost, but
I know.
I might have had encounters of the supernatural kind.
I mean, I've had crazy stuff happen too. I'm just saying this in the context of my 70-inch television dropped, and now it has like lines in it, and like I called because Isaiah was with his mom. I called him. I was like, all right, so let's pretend like I'm not mad, and she knew exact. She was like, she knew exact right away.
She knew that tone of voice. She's like, I've heard this enough times, kid. You better hold your pants.
Well, when you're, I'm a semi not serious person, so when you are, everybody stops. When I get like deadpan serious, everyone's like, what happened? Why are we not joking now? So needless to say, I need to get a new TV. I almost brought it in here, but it's too big to be, because I have it looks tiny. I have a 45, I think, or 45 or 50 inch in here that looks tiny compared to my 70-inch television. And I saw 100-inch for $1,200 at Walmart, so I might get a wall-sized TV.
No, a TV does not need to be almost 2 times the length that I am tall. Dogs don't need. I don't need a pet that weighs more than I do, or a TV that's taller than I am.
I've only seen them in the wild one time. I had a good friend who his mom, like, they're like what I call for real rich. You walk in his house. He had 100-inch TV, and they always were playing Purple Rain.
Okay.
Whenever I think of that movie, I think of these people. They obsessively would watch Purple Rain in their house. I still to this day don't know why. But the TV was so big that they had it. All the chairs were almost in the kitchen because you couldn't sit close up because you couldn't see anything.
Right.
So you had to sit, like, it took up the entire room. It was the strangest thing. I don't know if my living room is big enough.
I remember the supervisor I had. He'd look at people not doing their jobs, shake his head, and sip his coffee. The more time goes on, the more I love doing the head shakes and the coffee sip. I know. Were we talking about this last week that maybe we need, or was I watching something else that we sometimes might need to bring back, like public shaming?
We were talking about this because I think we should bring back stocks.
Oh, yes. Right, because it was like the judges who were like making the kids hold signs outside of the side of the road. It was like, I was an asshole for blah, blah, blah.
That is true. I don't know. My room isn't big enough, and I don't know if I could bring a 100-inch television in. It does get so hot here.
You're gonna blow the electrics one of these days again.
Well, I had the fortune, the happenstance of being son of an electrical engineer, and before he left this planet, he helped me rewire this entire house. So there's a second panel in this garage. Honestly, with all the lights on, the washer and dryer, I would shut down this entire house every time I'd turn a device on.
You should on the neighborhood.
This entire garage is on its own panel because I'm pulling so much power out of this room as compared to the whole house, you know.
PG&E knows when you're in there. He's like, "Oh my God, there's a huge spike on XXX." Shh.
I don't show it off. I'll break the fourth wall. I have a bunch of studio lighting in here. See, and so that's what kills it. It's because I'm in a dark room.
Right.
And so I did it old school in 1960s NBC style. I just hung a bunch of really bright lights.
No, I just got this shop lamp with a metal disc or a metal frame that I rearranged to get the light to reflect cutely on me.
I use those for everything. And I ordered one of these on Amazon too, but excuse me. See if you can see it. That's the only one left.
You got a softbox too? You get a fancy. I'm not that fancy.
It's so dark in this room, so I need a ton of lighting.
And you should just wear your glasses. Unless you put the things in when the house is being built, I think you need to knock down an outside wall to bring in a 100-inch television. Maybe so. I remember the old TV tubes, the ones that had to warm up and then took a while to go out once the TV was off, and the smell.
I still want to know what happened to the one that I was going to turn into a fish tank at my grandma's house. It's probably in my storage unit.
But you're going to need to start like Swedish death cleaning that storage unit that you speak of.
I need to. A few video, I always think it was so long ago, but like 2 or 3 months ago, I went there with Isaiah. I filmed myself opening it, and I was like, nope. And I literally closed it. And I didn't even do that. I didn't even do that for a skit. I had full intentions on climbing in there, and I was like, I can't do this. I don't have the emotional space. I don't know how.
You need to rent a dumpster and just start going through it.
I have officially filled a storage unit the size of a 2-car garage, and it's upstairs. So I schlepped everything up there piece by piece in that thing.
You moron. Sorry, but you moron.
Piece by piece. Piece by piece. So I'm gonna have to get a U-Haul just to empty that thing.
Yeah, you're gonna need like a 2-bedroom house-sized U-Haul to empty that thing, and that's not even your house.
My grandma had a 7-bedroom house, and the contents of it, and all the crazy carts and weird stuff my dad built that I didn't want to throw away are in there.
Right, I know. This could be storage. You don't want it to end up on Storage Wars. You should sell it, make the money so somebody else doesn't.
That is true. Like, do I really need 19 CB radios still in the box? Like, and that was another thing. Like, my dad and I, we would go buy lockers. So people think I'm kidding, because I've said this so many times. We bought a box that had a Harbor Freight inside of it. That's why when people are like, how do you have all this Harbor Freight crap? I think a Harbor Freight was going out of business. Just in this room, I have like 4 rollaways, giant rollaways. Like, I'm a hoarder.
Oh, that's funny, Killer. I want to see the face of the person who buys your locker when you die.
Do you know, under all the cabinets in my dad's house, he wrote, "If you're reading this, you bought the house, sucker," all over the walls. If you pull back any cabinet, it'll say, "If you're reading this, you're an idiot because you bought this house," or it's something insulting on every. Oh, he did that on purpose.
Well, at least he was cheeky.
You know what, Alibaba, my pops was like, he was Nam era, so he was a survivalist and didn't even know it. Like, he was always planning like to defend this house. He was crazy. He was such a hoarder.
I know, except now the way things are going, you kind of need. There's like some. It's good that you've learned some of these skills and have some of these things, so you can send me up one of these CB radios because that's something I don't have in my arsenal.
I have so many. I literally have so many. I can give one to everyone in the chat right now. Like my boss was nuts.
And then
Like,
have some to spare.
The other day I was cleaning out my closet and I'm like, man, if like this just looks bad. Like this just like how many, and if I put it, my dad used to always make fun of this guy that we knew. He would always be like, that guy is such a fake cop. He's such a wannabe cop. My dad had the same equipment in his car that he was talking trash about the fake cop, you know. I'll never understand. He would always be like, he has this and this in his car, and I'm like, bro, you literally have the exact same equipment.
Right, look who's calling the kettle black here.
Exactly. Craig was kind of like, he was a weirdo, and when he got fired, we thought he was gonna go postal. He was one of those. Oh yeah, and he's of that age group of people who do, and he was like super mad. Those CBs sell at estate sales. Well, then I'll keep all of them. I just like it because my son can harass truckers.
Well, you only need one for that, maybe one for backup. People collect old CB radios. They go wild for them. Right. So if the market is hot for them, don't wait for the market to get cold and then try to unload stuff.
Literally
People
behind that curtain, I have one hooked up, and I have an antenna on the side of my house too, because I know about scatter propagation because I went to college, even though I don't let it on. But anyways, I built my own antenna so we can really curse out truckers. That was pre-YouTube when I would get bored at my job, and I'm like, I'm going to build an antenna. I'm bored. I am so bored.
Well, no, you don't need to be bored. Because if you haven't watched it, Sweet Tooth on Netflix, season 2 is kind of creepy. I'm like, is this a graphic novel, or were they like or is this CIA propaganda? No,
I feel like that about The Walking Dead and Among Us. Like, are you getting us ready for the apocalypse?
Right, and then what did we have? Basically, the apocalypse.
Like you know, I talk about this all the time. I watch things over and over and over, and I never have dreams about them. I fall asleep to The Next Generation almost every night. I have only had one Starship dream. When I used to watch The Walking Dead, every Sunday I would have some anxiety, like the world's over dream where I'm like scavenging with Carol.
50,000 watt tower of power. Oh gosh.
So those apocalypse shows, like, and I have not watched the last or like the new show that's coming out, Silo. No, it scares me. I watched the commercial. I was like, oh, I'm scared. I might watch it because Malik Yoba's in it, but it just scares me. All that.
I'll have to wait till it comes to a streaming service.
I think it's on. I think it's on NBC Plus. I'm sorry, I'm Paramount.
Yeah, I don't pay for no. You have to be on Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Well, I started paying for Paramount because I wanted to watch Star Trek Discovery, right. and they canceled the show. And Picard's over. They're supposed to have all these new Star Trek shows. We'll see if they keep me or not. Like in LA, it's not rare to walk down the street and the company actually asks you a question like, hey, do you own an Apple computer? If Paramount Plus ever stops me on the street, they're not going to like my answers.
I did, but you're letting me down, man.
I'm going to get dramatic and be like, you killed Star Trek.
It used to be good and you ruined it. How dare you?
But privatization killed Star Trek.
It was. That was a Texas sea beer. We could get up here and in Canada on occasion. Oh my goodness, they had some good signal amplifications.
I have some crazy CB stories. Now this is making me want to put the scanner and the CB in my truck. but I don't know how illegal. Alexa, is it illegal to have a police scanner in your truck in the state of California?
From moviecultists.com. There are no laws in California that either require you to register a scanner or prevent you from having a scanner in your vehicle.
Thank you, Alexa.
Well, finally gave me an answer I like.
She didn't lie to me. She told me what I wanted to hear.
That reminds me, I need to rehook up my train horn too. A long time ago, every time I used it, someone threw something at my vehicle because it's a real train horn and it's startling. If you don't know it's coming, it literally goes through your bones.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an a-hole thing. So I disconnected it, but with the way people have been driving lately, the train horn's coming back. Like, people need to get the bejesus scared of.
Right.
Or like it's no longer illegal to walk in the middle of the street here in California, so the pedestrians are
killing themselves and being stupid. And the way that they exploit it as being like that it was being racist, and now who are they killing? Like, it's not the yuppie white people.
I almost hit someone today because they were not respecting the road. There's this really janky part of the San Fernando Valley where San Fernando Road goes through Old Town San Fernando, where there's shops on both sides. The speed limit goes down to 20 miles an hour. There are crosswalks. Well, it's known if there's a crosswalk in the state of California, it's the law. You stop if you see people, no matter what. People no longer use the crosswalks. I almost hit someone, and then the man in front of me almost hit someone, and I almost hit him.
Oh, God. Well, it's just as depressing as Allie saying that Star Trek went downhill after Gene Roddenberry died. I know a guy that did that train horn thing. Gene Roddenberry was the spirit of Star Trek.
Absolutely.
So saith the chat.
Absolutely. I'm biased. See, I watch old Trek. I watch Next Generation, so I'm biased. You know, even Deep Space Nine was still Gene Roddenberry. Like, I'm biased. I am so biased. Even though they stole Babylon 5 story, but they had more fans at the time. Well, if you look at the comparison between John Sheridan and Ben Sisko, the storylines are very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Firefly?
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? I consider myself a space cowboy. Like, that's my motif, is space cowboy.
Oh, no. Why did I get the Cowboy Junkie stuck in my head? Damn it.
I miss all of that stuff. Like, people were not scared. Did you ever watch a show called Farscape?
I think we did watch Farscape. Is that, or am I mixing that up with Firefly? Yes, with the I was going to say there was like Muppety creatures in that one.
That show was like, I don't know if they'd make that today because it was so outside the box. Yeah. It was so like people are scared to make shows like that nowadays. I miss when people.
Yeah, where is like the underground contingent of youth who aren't like brainwashed into being overly PC and who have independent thoughts? Like, there has to be a group of these humans somewhere.
That era is disappearing because people are now doing what they're told again. Like, people don't even like remember it because that generation grew up and all became senators. But like the 1960 generation literally would say, "Don't trust anyone over 30."
Right, and now they're Dianne Feinstein. Oh my God, that was so sad seeing Dianne Feinstein being like rolled in her wheelchair with her shingles infection and face not working.
She's been around my entire life.
Oh my God, I just felt bad when people were like saying that she was like the Crypt Keeper's girlfriend or whatever. It was just sad. Or maybe that's what.
Be careful when you make fun of old people, infirmed people, because that could easily be you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. It was but that really made sense.
Like,
You
Cowboy
think you
Junkies.
met the singer for the Cowboy Junkies? Who have you not? Like, we
Jealous.
could play like bingo and win more than lose of all the people you've met, human. Okay, now I gotta look it up because I don't remember. Oh, these old BMs. Let's see here. Yes, they are from Toronto. 1985, Alan Anton, Michael Timmins, Peter Timmins, Margot Timmins. All right, they were a family band, +1. This situation with Feinstein is fast becoming Weekend at Bernie's. I know, yeah, oh my God. With so many of them, like her, well, McConnell's not that bad, but is it Grassley who's also like pushing up
Bill
daisies?
Grassley is actually.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. Do you know what's so funny? That kid fought to come back here so that he could go in the living room and geek out on the Oculus. I was wondering why he was so quiet.
You're like, why aren't you yelling about your room? Oh, you're too busy.
He also found another girlfriend.
Oh, that was fast.
Well, you know, he lives in the digital era
It's right, true.
where they're just talking.
Well, you know, sometimes you just gotta like get back on the horse again to remember how to ride.
Well, he's 13, extremely dramatic, and like the one thing that I'll say about people with ASD is that people with ASD think. The average human does not think. We are creatures of habit, and so because he thinks, like he overthinks something, and then like he came to me recently, and he's like, you know what? Like I really freaked out over, you know, like there are more women and there are more fish in the ocean. I said, I know. You'll learn, you know.
Right.
There is no better teacher than failure. There's no better teacher than getting hit in a brick wall.
That's the only teacher, because we don't learn from our successes. We only learn after we fucked up.
True. Then you're like, okay, I will not repeat that. I will not.
Right.
Maybe I won't go. You know, a long time ago, I had an ex-girlfriend who realized how wet behind the ears I was. I am from LA, but I'd never lived in LA.
Mm-hmm.
She lived on Hoover Street. And I lived with her for over a year and a half. And when I first moved there, we went out to dinner one night, and she grabs me and she's like, bro, I have to tell you something. I'm like, what? She's like, look, you're not from LA. She literally gave me a list. And she's like, do not go down these streets. If someone offers you this or this, do not believe them. I was a 19 or 20-year-old. Yeah, I was dumb. You know, I was a 20-something-year-old kid, but guess what? She was right on everything.
She saved you some heartache.
Well, she told me don't go down Normandy, which is the street where Reginald Denny got beat up during the riots in '94.
Oh, yep.
I did, and I almost got shot. I ran. I had to run and everything. But guess what street I have never gone down again? Ever. LA is a different planet. That's why when people move to the suburbs, because it's like Mayberry here. It's quiet. Like I have my garage door.
Right, you could actually like have a garage.
And I could like have a ton of stuff and no one. I leave my truck unlocked. No one ever tries to go in it. But to anyone watching, my truck is locked at all times. I have cameras.
I was going to say, the New Yorker in me, like, everything's locked all the time. And that there's, like, tweakers who walk up and down my road and that people across the street have had random folks, like, open their doors. I'm like, I lock my house is locked even when I am home.
Because of where I live, so because I have a ring, it literally shows where all the crime is of like door grabbers and people that check cars. because of where I live, people don't come in this area because my town has what's called paseos, where everything is interlinked through paths. So between like in this, the town was planned that way, but now these paseos are where people they literally like can dodge the cops, they can run like.
Oh, so they're the escape alleyways now. They're like the rat trails.
Well, in LA, they're sold as like running trails and bike trails, which they are, and people still use them as such. But so the junkies do too.
Yeah.
I look at LA and I think, whose idea was all this? The movie studios.
Well, it used to be orchards and movies, houses, and orchards.
My grandma was the original owner of her house. There's a picture of there's a side of town. The housing track's called Old Orchard. In the picture, it's orange orchards. The entire area was just acres.
Like, why is it called that? I wonder.
They used to call this Cowtown, and now it's all built up here. We destroy nature here. This is the one thing. Like when I was a kid, you were able to get on a dirt bike and endlessly go anywhere. Like it felt endless. You go in the mountains, you go in the desert. It's all houses now.
Yeah.
And no one can afford to live there. You know. I think about it all the time. Because I was having this conversation. My ex-wife got lost. My brother lives in Nepotism Row in Pasadena, where people live. It looks like duplexes, but that's someone's house. They're literally like 17-bedroom mansions. And my brother is a yuppie. He lives in this area. So my ex-wife calls me because she's like, "Am I near your brother's house?" She FaceTimed me and she put the first thing she did was put up a street sign. I'm like, "Oh, make a right and 3 lefts and you're on the freeway." And we were talking and she asked me and she's like, "How do people get this rich?" And I told her the truth. Inheritance.
Yeah. Until kids like lose it all on drugs and bad investments.
But that's why they make their kid go to college. That's why they make them learn like how to do certain things. I didn't even realize I have my dad's job because he was literally grooming me to do his job in a lot of ways. Yeah. You know, he was like, "All right, we do this and this." Over the years, he was slowly teaching me to do his job, you know.
He just wanted it to end up in good hands and not with some weirdo.
True. And he knew that, like, I wouldn't throw his stuff away. My brothers and sisters, like, the first thing that my brother said to me was like, "So what are you going to do with the mannequins? Shoot them or something? Blow them up?" I said, "No. They are dress forms, sir." No. They are my models. You see, I was about to say she. It's chilling. Hasn't complained once.
They're just hanging out in the back.
2 of them right there. I got another one right here. They're chilling. They never.
Fred and Jorge.
Well, the original mannequin, my dad named her. Her name is Angelique Mannequin.
Oh, right.
She's an employee of the ranch. She has an employee. A matter of fact,
she's got a tag, and we have to file a W-2 for her every year.
You know what? He was such a pirate. I bet she had a job. I have her original tag and everything. She's been an employee longer than some people I know that have worked there,
including you.
Well, technically, I didn't. I moved away throughout my entire 20s, so I didn't start working there technically until like 08, 09.
Yeah.
But I grew up there.
Right.
And I left when I was 17.
We're at 3 hours and almost 45 minutes. Oh my gosh, folks, we went on a marathon.
Oh yeah, Butterfly. I will fight someone. Thou shalt not touch my mannequins. They have jobs. They have jobs.
How would I know how to drape my patterns if I didn't have them?
You know what? I asked that. It's funny you'd say that. Like, I asked that. I'm like, how do people do this without like? And the tall one is the exact same height as I am, flat-footed. So that's great. It's a great to have something that's the exact same size as I mean, the mannequin and I are eye to eye. It's creepy. And so it's perfect.
That does sound good. Oh my gosh, folks, I should let some of you go to sleep. I don't know, Alibaba, you just had coffee, so you know, might not be sleeping for a few hours. But thanks everybody for hanging out with us Sunday. Do you have anything to shill for us this evening, young man?
I will be releasing a video this evening, and I will be having a live stream tomorrow. Everyone's invited. Come on down, Gala Sewing, all that stuff. Be there, be square. 7 o'clock.
Oh,
You know, Bohemian West Coast time.
right, perfect. Let's see here. Don't wait until tomorrow when you can be fabulous today, and make sure you've laughed at yourself before you laugh at others. All right, you're all amazing. See you next week. Bye.
Clock out with the clock out.